Welcome to the Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week presented by Wendy's. We are live in Mukwonago as the Lancers from Brookfield Central take on the Indians from Mukwonago High School. Thanks for joining us. My name is Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, and this is the 1250 pregame show. I'm here with the two head coaches, Jamie Mulmans from Brook Central, Clay Iverson from Mukwonago. Clay, let's start with you. Quite an off-season for you. 7 great years at Pewaukee. Decided to make the change, take over the program here at Mukwonago. Transition's been pretty good for you and your family?
It's been outstanding. The kids have been great. That's a credit to them to take new coaching. Family lives and works here, so we couldn't be happier with the move.
Excellent. Jamie, with you, I think the offseason, the talk, at least in the circles I run, the addition of Tom Taraska as your defensive coordinator, got a lot of respect for you for bringing a guy like that in. He's just a Hall of Fame coach, and I think as a head coach, it certainly adds to your staff, like being able to bring him in and see things differently. How's that transition been for you?
It's been outstanding. Tom's and Joe and Phil's attention to detail and the way that they work with kids and teach kids and so much to offer has been outstanding. It's been a great transition for us.
Excellent. Clay, I went on the big show today and talked about it. I don't know if you looked at the Mukwonago schedule before you took this job. Brook Central, Waukesha West, Muskego, and Catholic Memorial, the first 4. That would keep a lot of coaches up at night.
Yeah, we'll be in trouble if we start looking at other teams. It's a tough road, but we're gonna focus on Mukwonago. It's all we can worry about. If we do that, we can keep our sanity and compete.
Excellent. Jamie, last question. Your conference, we talked a little with Clay about his, your conference top to bottom is awfully tough. New coaches at West Dallas Hale, not sure what they're going to bring. When you talk about Hamilton, Marquette, Brookfield East, it's a tough conference.
It sure is. Brook East, Marquette, Menominee Falls, all from top to bottom. Sussex, Hamilton's going to be outstanding. It's going to be top to bottom a tough conference this year in the Greater Metro.
You bet. Guys, I'm going to cut you loose. We get to a break. Other side of the break, Dick Basham, John Weiser get to the keys of the game. This is the Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week presented by Wendy's.
Welcome back to Mukwonago, everyone. Season 3 of Thursday Night Lights on My 24, presented by Wendy's with Hall of Fame high school coach Dick Basham. John Weiser with you. Glad you're along tonight for this non-conference tilt. Week number 1 of an 8-game schedule, Dick, and a short season in the regular season this year in the WIAA.
Yeah, this becomes a very important game. You used to have 2 games to get the kinks worked out. Now it's 1 game for most teams, unless you're in a smaller conference, but you have 1 non-conference game, and then you play 7 straight conference games before you go to the playoffs.
We look at Brookfield Central tonight, the visiting team here this evening, co-champion of the Greater Metro Conference last year, went into the Level 3 of the Division I playoffs, losing to Kenosha Bradford, the eventual state champion at Division I. But you look at this team, they are loaded again for another strong year.
Yeah, I think they reloaded the players, and they reloaded the coaches as well, bringing on Tom Taraska as their defensive coordinator. But this is a team that is a little short on depth. That's what the coaches tell me anyway. But their first 22 players are pretty darn good.
On offense, they've got an outstanding running back, Demario Harris, a 1,200-yard rusher from a year ago.
Yeah, that's right. Demario Harris is number 31. He's only a junior, little under 6 feet, about 200 pounds. But he runs really well. Did have a little over 1,200 yards last year, but I think the important thing to me is he averaged 6.6 yards a carry. When I asked Coach Joe Cook, the coordinator, and Jamie Mullen was the head coach about him, what makes him different, they both said he's a strong runner, but he slides and glides. Now, I've never heard that a running back described that way, but maybe we'll find out what that means tonight.
As explosive as they are on offense, they've got a powerful defense led by Chikwe Obisa, their leading tackler from a year ago.
That's true, and this will be his 3rd year starting, I believe. And he'll be playing their strong side tackle, and he'll be slanting down a lot if they play their normal defense. But he's about 6'4", 235. He's already accepted a scholarship offer from the University of Wisconsin, but he's a strong, agile, quick defensive lineman who's really going to make problems for Mukwonago, I think, tonight.
For Mukwonago, they're looking for their first winning season since 2005. Clay Iverson comes down from Pewaukee to take over the program. trying to embrace a little bit of the past with his coaching staff this year.
Clay is exactly what they needed here. He has gone back to the past. He's embraced the history of this program, which was established by Keith Hensler. Keith left in 2005. And they struggled a little bit the last few years, but the kids are excited. I know they're looking for that new identity, and they want to get their swagger back, and he's the guy that can do it.
On offense, they go to the triple option look this year for their offense, and they run behind a very good offensive lineman in Mitch West.
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit because Clay Iverson ran the wing T at Pewaukee, and now he has embraced the wishbone here. And Mukwonago's line is not as big as Brookfield Central's, and the smallest lineman is Mitch West. He's their center, number 50. He's a senior. But Clay said he's one of the hardest workers on the team. He's strong, agile, and he plays really physical, and I think we can look forward to good things from him tonight. Nate
Tangway on defense, the leader on that defensive unit.
Well, this will be his third year as a starter, and he's kind of a man-child, so to speak, on this team, and he's a definite leader. He's a basketball player. He's also involved in track. 6'4", 253 pounds. Seniors got all kinds of agility and athletic ability, and he's the leader of the team. He's already gotten 3 scholarship offers, and if he plays really well this season, he's going to have a lot more offers by the end of the year.
Well, we've outlined the players for both teams. Time now to get to the keys to the game.
Well, I think the keys to the game are pretty simple, actually, but for Brookfield Central, they're an option. They need to control the ball. I think keep their turnovers to an absolute minimum, but I think also to be successful on defense, they need to have no breakdowns on their option responsibilities.
For Mukwonago, it's nerves tonight for a new coach.
Yeah, it's a young team, a new coach. They've had a lot to learn in a week, and so I think it's important for them to get field position and make Brookfield Central go as far as they have to go in order to score. They need to contain Harris and the Lancer running game, and finally they need to take care of the ball on offense and not turn it over.
We're ready to go. National Anthem and Kickoff coming up next. Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's. Season 3 of Thursday Night Lights, presented by Wendy's, set to kick off here tonight. First, though, we're going to enjoy our national anthem. Tonight it's going to be sung by Mukwonago High School senior Katie Butita, who will perform our national anthem.
Okay, I'm going to be hot. I'm hot here. Quit bouncing around. Quit bouncing.
Can you see by the dawn?
Oh, no.
Was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Whose broad stripes and bright stars, the
Easy.
road that perilous flight.
The least little bit of bouncing is bouncy, bouncy.
Hearts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red
Okay, that'll be
the bones bursting
Can't get
gave proof that night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
With our national anthem here tonight, Katie Butita, a senior here at Mukwonago High School. A great night for football tonight in Mukwonago. A little bit of a breeze blowing left to right as you view it here from Mukwonago High School. Temperatures in the low 80s to kick it off. It'll drop back into the low 70s by the time we're all said and done tonight. And a great crowd on hand for this one. School not in session yet, and they filled the stands here tonight.
Well, Mukwonago is a football town, and they've got a good opponent in Brookfield Central, and they have a new coach here in Mukwonago, and people are anxious to come out and see if things are going to change. And I don't think you can make that judgment on one night, but I can tell you something's going to change because Clay Iverson's a very enthusiastic guy.
I like the way how he's established his own system here, but he's brought in and embraced the Keith Hensler era, the way things were in the prime of the Mukwonago football regime.
Well, the first thing he did is he brought back Lee Purdy as his offensive coordinator. Lee was a longtime coach with Keith Hensler, and Bob Detloff has come back up from the freshman to be with the varsity. So, and he brought in John Sterner, who was a head coach at Muskego for a while, and so he's got a good experienced staff, and we've got a good turnout of kids. Clay made that point to me that he's not used to having this many players, and at Pewaukee sometimes has as few as 35. So he's anxious and excited, and I think his kids will be too.
Mukwonago will receive to start our ball game tonight. They'll work it right to left in the blue uniforms. Brookfield Central in the white uniforms. Teeing it up, Stephen Knapp, their place kicker, at the 40-yard line. Ty Bailing and Jeremy Haar standing deep to receive inside the 10-yard line. And season 3 of Thursday Night Lights kicks off in Mukwonago. A deep kick, drifting back near the goal line and taking it there is Haar. Haar up the middle across the 15, 20, big hole, 25, 30. Breaks it out across the 35 down to the 37-yard line. As in on the stop was Drew Peterson on special teams, saved a touchdown there.
Well, we saw them working on that Tuesday when we were out there watching their practice, and that's just the way it looked in practice. They did that. They executed that very well. The wall in the middle right there. Runner did a good job of staying in behind it and then breaking into the clear.
Mukwonago a triple option look this year, back to grind it out on the ground. Aaron Nixon, a junior at quarterback. They'll have a backfield of Dan Timmers, Jason Strickler, and Zach Timmers, the three-man backfield. And our first play from scrimmage. The give is to Dan Timmers, working the right side, stacked up, nowhere to go. Dan Sorensen and a host of defensive help there for Brookfield Central as we set the offensive line, led by Mitchell West, all-conference a year ago.
Yeah, you see it right there. Mike Breber, Charles Young played a lot last year as a freshman. Mitch West, as we talked in the pregame, Nate Greenwald, and then Kevin Cobb rounds that group out.
Dan Timmers, the experienced back, if you will, 22 carries, 114 yards a year ago. Our quarterback tonight, junior Aaron Nixon.
Right, he was hurt a lot last year, didn't play a whole lot, but he won the battle for the job, and hopefully he'll do a good job for him.
2nd and 9. The give is to the fullback, Strickler. He is stacked up in the middle for no gain.
Well,
Once
you got
again.
a very, very aggressive Brookfield Central defense, and Mukwonago's trying to establish the middle a little bit. They ran a counter on the first play and then a straight dive play here on the second play.
Pickup of 1 just shy of the 40-yard line as we set the defense, led by Obasi.
Yeah, Obasi, he's got a lot of help from Tevin Milton and Kyle Cully and Dan Sorensen. They also have very good linebackers, Steve Ambrukian, Austin Van Ark, and Dom Safira. So in the secondary, Mike Egan, Mike Mavis, Billy Shim, and Terry Wallen. All 4 of those are very good players.
Nixon running the option, nowhere to go. He is dropped for a 2-yard loss back at the 38-yard line in the Lancer defense. Stifling Mukwonago here on their first possession, Ambrukian on the stop.
Yeah, it's a very good. They have good size and defense, but they also move very well, and they have a lot of good experience. Kids playing there that really solidify a defense this early in the year.
Dan Timmers will double as the punter this year. We'll kick it away here for the Indians. Shim and Wallen standing inside the 30-yard line, and Timmers will be kicking into a breeze of about 10 miles an hour. And he gets off a nice kick. Drifting over is Shim near side, bobbles it, makes the catch out of bounds. Ushered out that time by Zach Timmers, number 35 for Mukwonago, and so good field position here for the Lancers to start their first drive tonight.
Well, that was a pretty good punt, but they didn't make any yardage when they had the ball, so they are giving it up in pretty good field position. About the same as where Mukwonago was, so we'll see if Mukwonago's defense is up to it now. Brookfield Central's line averages about 273 pounds, and There aren't not many overweight guys in that group. So that's going to be a little problem, I think, for Mukwonago. We'll see how they hold up.
They'll work out of the gun. Single back is Harris, a 1,200-yard rusher from a season ago. They'll check down. They'll get to the line. They'll check down, look at the play. They'll call it out on signals from the quarterback, Rickers. And they give us to fake to Harris, coming around the far side. This is Crum, and Crum out across the line of scrimmage. May have gotten the 30-yard line. A little misdirection there that time coming out. It was Blum making the stop for the Indians.
Well, they fooled both of us. I thought he gave the ball to the fullback, too. And you see the quarterback keeping any pitch, but it's a good job of coverage there. Mason Madden was out there and was not fooled by that, and he had played his pitch responsibility very well.
Pickup of 2, second down, and we'll call it 2nd and 9. And this time, up the middle, it's Harris, and Harris stopped across the 35 near the 36-yard line as we take a look at the starting offense here for Brookfield Central.
And that was a straight-ahead dive play. Offensive line, good line. Rasmussen, Trapp, Sabula, Goodman, and Homa. As I said, they average about 273 pounds, 6'4". The backs, Shipman, Melton, Ross Milner, Crum, and Harris. That's a good group, a lot of athletic ability there. And the quarterback is a first-year player, Riley Richards, and he did start the first playoff game for them last year and actually had a very good game. So, but for the most part, he's inexperienced.
Fumble on the play, and it's recovered by Mukwonago at the 35-yard line. First turnover of the game, and it goes Mukwonago's way. Making the recovery was Cameron Groves, the inside linebacker.
Yeah, they drilled that ball carrier on the give. It looks like the fullback didn't take it, and the quarterback was really trying to give it to him, and the ball just dropped on the ground. And a good break for Mukwonago. Let's see if they can do something with it here.
So our first bank first down here for the Mukwonago Indians coming on the turnover. We want to thank First Bank Financial Center for being our first down sponsor on Thursday Night Lights. First Bank Financial Center, discover the community bank difference. From the 36-yard line. And Nixon the give to the fullback, and he is swamped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing up the middle as, again, that stout Lancer defense led by Van Ark that time. Austin Van Ark, the inside linebacker.
Well, I'm surprised there wasn't a fumble there because they were in the backfield. And they got about a yard, but I'm surprised they got that much.
Oh, and the exchange problem there between Richards and Mario Harris, right. And that's early season.
That's option football early in the season. They'll get that worked out, I'm sure.
Second down 9 for the Indians at the 35. They'll try and run option. Nixon hit in the backfield, bounces off 2 tacklers, and then is finally brought down. In on the stop, Trevin Milton, a junior on the defensive end that time, able to seal that one off and make the stop.
Well, right now it's the matter of Brookfield Central has them outmanned. They're getting penetration in the backfield, messing up the timing of their plays. That was a lead option, no dive. There was no dive fake. Quarterback just taking it down the line, looking to either keep or pitch, and there was nothing to do but eat it in the backfield.
Our third member of our crew tonight on the sideline, Mike McGivern. Mike, what do you have?
Hey, guys, listen to Clay Iverson talk to his defense. He said, boys, are they doing anything we haven't seen? Anything we haven't practiced against? Second down, we're going to start getting some pressure on them now. So let's get after it. Everything we showed you, they've done, and now we go.
And we got a penalty marker on the play here before the snap. Our officiating crew tonight, led by Ron Kirk out of Racine, Jim Earhart, our umpire, linesman Eric Olson, line judge Todd Korth, Todd, the associate editor of Referee Magazine, and Steve Lipke is the back judge tonight, minus Gary Williams tonight, who's watching back home in Kenosha. And again, our penalty flags this season are sponsored by Cone and Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cone and Smith.
An illegal procedure penalty.
So tack on 5 more here. 3rd and 19. Little play action. They'll try and dump it out to Timmers here in the backfield. Makes the catch across the 35 and 45, I should say, and down to the 41-yard line. Van Ark draped all over him for the stop.
Little swing pass out to the left. And you'll see a good play by the defensive back from Brookfield Central.
This is an interesting call here. You're on your opponent's side of the 50-yard line facing 4th and long, 4th and about 15, and electing not to punt. They will go for it here, or maybe Be wary of a little trick play here as Nixon will get them set at the line of scrimmage. Timmers in motion to the right. Play action as Nixon looking to throw. Pressure on. Gets away from Obisi. Gets the pass away, and it is nearly picked off. It was intended out there for the receiver for Mukwonago.
Well, Chikwe Obasi was in the
Obasi
backfield.
was in the backfield. You got that right.
Too quick. They got to get some help up front, or they're going to have a hard time all night long.
That was Matthew McCartan, backup quarterback, in there as an extra wideout for Mukwonago, the intended target. So they turn it over on downs, cannot cash in on the turnover. So Mukwonago gives it up to Brookfield Central. Lancers will take over on their own 41-yard line. No score here in week number 1 of our Thursday Night Lights here on My 24. Richards now out of the gun. We'll give it to the end and the end around. This is Crum coming around the left side. Big hole out across the 45, just shy of midfield before he's finally stacked up. Gain of 9 by Marcus Crum. The split end for the Lancers brought down on the play by Krieger for Mukwonago.
Yeah, he's the slot back on the right side. And he came back on the inside and on a little sweep play, and they got the edge on him too fast.
2nd and 1 for the Lancers. Ball at midfield. Richards again will look over to the sideline, then back in. And this time Harris gets the call. He'll pick up the first down across midfield down to the Mukwonago 47-yard line.
Yeah, that was a quick trap play, as they call it. The left guard pulled across. If we get a replay here, you'll see him kicking out on the right side, but they got the first down.
It was Cameron Groves in there for the Indians for the stop, but not before a first down, first bank first down for the Brookfield Central Lancers. Lancers out of the Greater Metro Conference, tied for first place last year. Made it into the level 3 of the playoffs. They'll try that same play again coming near side, and he is stacked up immediately on the play.
Tom Sazauskas was in there to take care of that play. That was that opposite play they ran on first down before. The slot back on the left side comes across. That is
Ross Miller.
Rob Ross Miller comes across on the inside, but Sazauskas was there to make the play.
So a loss of 3, 2nd down 13 for the Lancers. They'll send Crum in motion. They'll swing past to Crum coming out of the backfield left side. Has some room across the line of scrimmage down to the 45-yard line and ushered out there.
Well, that was a simple little swing pass, but the reason that play was so successful was Drew Peterson came in from his left split end position and really got a block on the inside coverage. And with the ball being thrown behind the line, you can do that. It's like a screen pass. And they were able to get outside and make up the lost yardage.
It's Jake Krieger, the safety, able to make the stop that time for Mukwonago. 3rd down and 9. And
Shars keeps it.
Yeah, Shars takes the direct snap, keeps it up the middle down to the 41-yard line. Short of the first down. Brings up an interesting call here for Jamie Muellmans here early in this ball game.
I think it's a little bit too far for their kicker. It'd be a 59-yard field goal. That's not going to happen tonight. So they're going to go for it, I think. They have confidence in their defense.
Wings to either side, and we had movement up front. And let's see. We got a flag.
It'll be against Central. They
jumped the neutral zone.
Yep.
Let's see.
They do their little shift to try to draw the defense offside, and they.
No, actually, it's going to be Brookfield Central.
And they drew themselves off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can get planted, but if you're a lineman and you move your feet back or forward, you can get out of that stance and look, but you can't move the feet. And that time,
I'm a little surprised they're not punting here, but I guess they are. Yeah, they're gonna.
Richards is going to pooch punt it here, end over end. It'll bounce inside the 10, angles to the goal line and into the end zone for a touchback. So Mukwonago will get it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. When we come back, no score in Mukwonago. Brookfield Central, Mukwonago. Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's.
Hey, we're here with Jim Galkey. He is the district manager for Wendy's. They got a great thing going on for high school kids. Jim?
Yeah, all high school students come into Wendy's, present your school ID, and we're going to give you a free 12-ounce Frosty with the purchase of a combo meal. Great deal. You get a great dessert, Mike. It's just the way to go.
You know, I still got 1 year left of eligibility. I'm going to do that. Back to you, boys.
Jason Strickler on the carry on 2nd down. This will bring up 3rd and long here for Mukwonago. Van Ark in on the stop that time for Brookfield Central.
Well, Mukwonago got in trouble on first down. They had a big loss on a bad pitch, and now they're trying to make up the difference. So far, they have not been able to solve Brookfield Central's defense. It's just a little bit too quick and physical for them.
3rd and 15 as Nixon will step in under center. Hands it off to the fullback. He'll take it across the line of scrimmage. Strickler out short of the 20-yard line, well short of the first down on the punting unit coming on for the Indians. Obasi there again on the stop. Chikwe Obasi, a 6'4", 245-pound senior, has a commitment to the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah. He's a good athlete. His older sister was a very good runner for Brookfield Central girls track team, and I think she's at the University of Minnesota now in scholarship, so some good bloodlines there.
Timmers to kick this one away, gets a good snap. Angles it to the near sideline. Shim will let it bounce, and it will roll dead across the mid-50-yard line, I should say, down to the 48 of the Lancers, and that's where they will take over here late in this first quarter.
Brookfield Central's starting in just outside the 50-yard line, and for a team that's an option team, 4-down territory comes pretty early for them, so we'll see if they can make something happen here.
So the Lancer offense, as you get a look at Clay Iverson in his first season here at Mukwonago after 7 years in Pewaukee, 57-19 record with the Pirates.
One thing that's different for Mukwonago in this game that's hard to do in practice is that Central does not huddle after each play. They line up right away, and so as a result, Mukwonago has to also, and that's a little hard to duplicate in practice.
Harris over the right side across midfield, finally tackled near the 45-yard line. Nate Tangway able to make the stop for the Indians, but a gain of 6 on the play. We want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the TNL link. You'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons. You can even post your own photos and join the TNL conversation on Facebook and Twitter. That's my24milwaukee.com. First down for Brookfield Central by Harris as he takes it inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. Sazowskis and Bailing there on the stop for Mukwonago.
And it's a straight-ahead dive play. Nothing fancy about that. They're running right at Tangway right there because he's being double-teamed.
1st and 10, Lancers. Under a minute to go here in our first quarter. Crum in motion, the give to Harris over the right side, inside the 30, bowls his way forward for a pickup of 9. Groves there to finally knock him down, but a 9-yard pickup for DeMario Harris. First team all-conference last year in the Greater Metro.
Well, just to give you an idea of the offensive line for Brookfield Central, their right tackle, Jake Homa, is a senior. He's already got a scholarship offer from Iowa State University. That's a Big 12 team. And the left tackle, Luke Rasmussen, who's only a junior, he's already got a committed to play for the Badgers when he graduates 2 years from now.
Harris again up the middle, gets the first down inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Sosowskis once again on the stop for the Indians.
Yeah, this is just grinded out football. There's nothing beautiful about it, unless you're the offensive coordinator. Then I think you probably think it's real beautiful. But
and that will end our first quarter here in Mukwonago. A scoreless first quarter, but the Lancers threatening when we come back. No score, Mukwonago and Brookfield Central. Thursday Night Lights on My24. Before we get into our second quarter, let's head back down to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
Guys, listen to the Brookfield Central coaches. Coach Trask obviously very happy with his defense. The offensive line on Brook Central a little confused at what Mukwonago is showing them, and they're trying to get that taken care of. They think they can start pounding the ball here in the second quarter.
First and 10 for Brookfield Central. Ball at the 23 of Mukwonago as we start our second quarter. And this is Crum coming around from the right side to the left side. Penalty marker down as he is dropped hard on the play by Ty Bailing, the safety for Mukwonago. But we'll check out the cone and penalty here.
Well, here you see that the little sweep play that was so successful the first time, but there's a holding penalty right there on number 42, Mason Madden, and he's the guy who made that play happen for Mukwonago by turning it in and getting the pursuit from the inside to make the tackle.
This season penalty flags are being brought to you by Conan Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Conan Smith. Holding the call against Brookfield Central.
No, it was blocking below the waist. It was a different penalty than the one that showed on the screen. So they evidently somebody cut block below the waist.
Ron Kirk explaining the options to Clay Iverson for Mukwonago.
But there was definitely a holding call on Mason Madden too. But it's pretty well disguised back inside the play.
Well, while they step the yardage off, we want to remind you, starting September 17th, all of your favorite shows come together. Family Guy at 5, American Dad at 5:30, The Simpsons at 6, and Family Guy again at 6:30. It's Anna Mayhem, weeknights from 5 to 7, starting September 17th, right here on My 24. Well, they get the options figured out on the penalty. They'll move the football back to the Indian 35-yard line. Bring up a 1st and 22 here for the Lancers. Shars will get them set now. Looks over to the sideline for the play. Harris, the lone man in the backfield. Slot back is Crum to the right. And they're going to throw. They're going to go for the deep ball in the corner. Ball in the air. Caught. End zone. Touchdown. Brookfield Central. Beautiful pitch. Nice catch.
I think it was Vantuan Melton, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Tavon Melton who made the catch out there.
Yeah, that was
Antoine Melton, the wide receiver, 6'2", using all of that 6'2" to go up and get it.
Actually, the defensive back was right there, but the ball was perfectly thrown. And Tyler Wozni was in position, but the ball was thrown just perfectly and it went over his head and results in a touchdown. Nice throw.
First touchdown pass for Richards. Vantuan Melton, the touchdown reception, the 6'2" wideout. Knopp for the extra point. It is on the way, and it is good. 7-0 Lancers.
Well, I tell you, if they can throw passes like that with that option game that they have, that's a deadly combination. It's going to make it tough on a lot of defenses. That was a really very well thrown ball.
You hit the nail on the head, Coach, because they lull you to sleep with the run, fullback up the middle, occasionally Crum coming off the edge at the split end, and then all of a sudden loft the ball deep to the 6'2" receiver.
And the other factor is when you play an option team, you have to account for all the phases of the option on every play because you don't know when it's going to run, when they're going to run that play and when it's going to run to its conclusion. So people get out of position, they start cheating on the defense to cover the run, and then what just happened there is what happens, and that's the philosophy of Central's offense, and they've got the people to execute it.
Once again, Haar and Bailing standing deep to receive the kick. Well, just a gorgeous opening week here across southeast Wisconsin for high school football. A few games tonight. Everybody takes the plunge tomorrow.
Yeah, this is about as nice as it gets. We're a nice little breeze up here where we are. We're looking at a nice sunset out to the west and an excellent football game in front of us. It's,
and a great crowd.
And going to heaven, so.
Yeah, a great crowd here tonight. Got youth football represented in the end zone here, the Mukwonago youth football. And all the kids in all their glory. As this kick will drift back under it is Haar. Haar will take it across the 20. Had a nice return earlier. Big hole up the middle. Here he goes. Haar across the 40. Out to the 45-yard line. Another strong return for Haar. A 30-yard return brought down by Terry Wallen on special teams for the Lancers.
Well, that was that wedge again that they ran on the first kickoff, and that was perfectly executed. If he could have broken to the outside, he probably would have taken it all the way, but he stayed in behind the wedge, and Wallen didn't make a good play because he was the only guy in position to do it.
Well, the Lancer defense has shut down the Indians on offense here so far. We'll see if this kickoff return sparks that Mukwonago offense.
They may need to throw it on first down here just to get Brookfield Central's attention and keep them off balance. They are.
Good call here, Coach, as Nixon dances around in the pocket, now scrambles to his right. Huge running room across midfield, cuts it back at the hash, steps out of a tackle at the 40, inside the 40, down to the 36-yard line. Late flag thrown after the tackle, as it was Micah Mavis and Trevon Melton who made the stop for the Lancers, but we'll check out the penalty flag here.
Well, he drops back and he's getting a little pressure, as you can see from the inside, and he takes off to the right. And able to make a cut back to the left right here. He jukes Austin Van Ark and then is tackled for a long gain. I didn't see who the penalty was on.
It came late. It looked like just as the tackle was
might have been a late
finishing,
hit.
could have been a late hit here against Mukwonago, so they'll get the first down, but they'll move the ball.
Dead ball foul on Mukwonago, personal foul.
So personal foul, the Conan Smith penalty here.
Personal foul, late hit.
Move the football back to the 49-yard line. Let's see if we can catch it here on the replay here, right at the end of the tackle. Let's watch.
You're going to see Mike
right
Reber
there, yep.
Right there, yeah.
Reber, the quick tackle on this
right.
Mukwonago offensive line. A little too quick with the temper there.
Well, and Coach Iverson took him out right away, so you can tell that he's setting the tone right here. We're not going to put up with that was an uncalled for penalty, and it cost him a long gain. They do
Still
have
a first down because it was a dead ball foul. The pitch goes out to the Timmers. Zach Timmers around the left side. Timmers picks up 9 before he's ushered out of bounds. Nice pitch, a good run that time by the junior Zach Timmers. 5'11", 170, his first carry tonight.
Well, they haven't been able to get any yardage running straight at him. They're going to have to run around him a little bit. See a nice block on the outside there. And a good run, probably a yard short. I think that block on the outside, they didn't see who, it might have been Dan Timmers.
Sorensen in on the tackle, gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Ball just shy of the 42-yard line of Brookfield Central. Indians trail 7-0. Fake the handoff. Nixon trying to get around the edge, nothing doing there. As Trevon Milton, again, the junior defensive end, able to seal that run off, step inside and cut that run down by Nixon.
But again, it's the same situation for Brookfield Central as far as the option. They all have to account for their responsibility on the option, and Melton had the quarterback, and he did a good job of stringing it out. Probably could have pitched it out here to Dan Timmer, but he chose not to.
Just shy of a first down, 3rd and inches here. We're early in the second quarter from Mukwonago tonight. Clay Iverson trying to get his team fired up here on the near sideline for the Indians.
Well, they've got 2 downs to get this, and they really need to get a first down here and keep it moving.
We'll give it to Dan Timmers. Timmers stacked up right at the line, but see forward progress, may have gotten the 40-yard line and the first down. Good surge that time by Dan Timmers, the senior, 6 foot 185. The leading ball carrier coming back from a year ago, had 22 carries for 114 yards a season ago.
Yeah, he lined up in the left slot. That's between the tackle and the split end, and came back in motion to what's called referred to as a tailback position, and then they ran an isolation play right up the middle.
Timmers, Strickler, and Zach Timmers in the backfield. On first down, inside the 40-yard line. And the quarterback, Nixon, with a hole, left side, inside the 10, touchdown, Mukwonago. Great ball fake that time by the junior Aaron Nixon, fake to the fullback, cut to his left, and a clean escape to the end zone puts the Indians on the board.
Well, that's exactly what happened. And we talked about option responsibilities. Obviously, that quarterback was not accounted for on that particular defense. It looks like Austin Van Ark might have fallen down, and he probably had the quarterback, and that's why he ran untouched into the end zone.
39-yard touchdown run. Indians with the extra point can tie this one up.
This formation where they shift like that, it's called the swinging gate, and they look to see if they can go for 2 if it's not defensed properly, and they didn't fool Central, and they're going to go for 1.
Timmers with the kick, and it is through. 7-all here with 9.5 minutes to go here in this first half in Mukwonago. An impressive drive here for the Indians, taking advantage of the kickoff return short of midfield.
Yeah, they did not get much done in the first quarter. Maybe established Their ground game, tried to establish their ground game inside, but now they've been able to get on the edges, and that was a very nice drive, and he overcame that penalty and even this game back up again.
Be sure to listen to the Wendy's Varsity Blitz scoreboard show Friday nights at 7 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Get updates and scores from all the key high school football games in the area. The Wendy's Varsity Blitz scoreboard show Friday nights at 7 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP.
There you see a shot of Clay Iverson. He is about as enthusiastic a coach as I have ever seen. In practice, he's the same way in practice. And there's Phil Dotka. You can see that little wry smile on his face. He coached 42 years at Germantown, won 280-some games, and he's assisting here. Jamie Muleman's the head coach of Central, played for Phil at Germantown, and he's helping his former player out working with the quarterbacks on offense.
Marcus Crum stands deep to receive the kick from Timmers, and he drills this one. This one will short hop the end zone and through. Just what you wanted there.
Exactly.
Clay Iverson pumping that fist in the air. And he'll move the ball out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
We're here with Sean Zingsheim. There you go. Milwaukee High Lift. He is a Mukwonago alumni. He bleeds blue and gold. Sean, you guys are involved with Thursday Night Lights. How?
We provide a lift for you guys every single Thursday night, rough terrain scissor lift, so you guys can get up and get all the shots that you need.
Hey, you miss playing football here.
Absolutely, every single day I do.
Hey, we talked about it. He'd put the helmet on one more time, and he would do it for just about anything.
Anything.
You bet, boys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. 1st and 10 here for Brookfield Central. Now we'll see how the Lancers respond.
All right, this is the first time they've had bad field position, or at least been backed up. So
Shires will keep it. Met in the backfield and thrown for a loss back near the 18-yard line.
I think that might have been Tangway.
Was Tangway in there on jumping that play?
On the carry.
Yeah, I think it was.
We'll get a replay look here.
On the tackle for the Indians.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is, right there.
Slid right off that block and came in to make the tackle.
Now, he's a terrific athlete. I was watching him in the warm-up. He has got long arms. That's why he's probably a good basketball player, but he can scratch his knees without bending over, and that's a real advantage on the football field.
Out of the first team All-Conference Classic 8. 2nd down and 12 here for the Lancers.
You can see, but just by the body language, that Mukwonago is starting to feel a little bit better about themselves.
Harris over the right side, stacked up at the 20 and driven back there. Dominic Sazauskis leading the charge that time for the Indian defense.
Pretty conservative calls here for Central. Right up the middle of the field.
More than 7.
3rd and about 7 coming up as you get the look at the animated Clay Iverson here on the near sideline.
That's when he's relaxing right there. All right, let's see if they go back to their passing game. It certainly was effective the last time they had the ball.
Well, they've got Drew Peterson in as an extra wide out here to the near side.
And trips this way.
Well, they'll line up 3 this way from the gun. Now the linebackers creep up to the line of scrimmage here for the Indians. Now they'll drop back.
I thought maybe they dropped everybody but 2.
Richards with time, drills the ball far side, incomplete.
Well, they only rushed 2 outside rushers on that. They certainly could run a quarterback draw without too much difficulty there. Be interesting to see if they go to that next time.
Intended for Mike Kaminsky, 165-pound senior wideout for the Lancers. So 3 and out here for Brookfield Central. Indians will get the ball back in what should be good field position here.
Harry Wallen back to punt. Back to receive for Mukwonago.
Crystal Baugh is back to punt.
Wozni set to receive.
Wozni back to receive.
Now the officials will stop play here. We have a timeout taken by Mukwonago. They were short a player, it looks like. So a timeout taken by Mukwonago. Well, CW18 is TV to talk about, and this fall America's Wildest Game Show is back and funnier than ever. Survey says, laugh every weeknight as Steve Harvey hosts Family Feud at 6 and 6:30, 5 days a week starting September 10th on Milwaukee's CW18.
Obviously somebody wasn't in on the punt, and they are checking out one of Mukwonago's players back here behind the bench, and maybe that is the reason that they were a man short.
Clay Iverson, hands-on in just about every facet. In the huddle, he's on the sideline. He came to the near side after the touchdown, talked to his offensive lineman.
Yeah. But, he's almost the opposite of Jamie Muehlman. And Jamie has an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a special teams coordinator, and he coaches the defensive line, yet he's the head coach, where Clay he's the offense or the defensive coordinator, and he's involved in all the special teams. Oh, they could have blocked that.
Rush is on, flag down. They made contact with the punter. It's a short punt. It will roll dead just shy of midfield.
Won't be a first down, though.
Let's see if we got the 5-yard running into the kicker is what Ron Kirk is signaling to the Brookfield Central sideline.
It's kind of a strange play. I thought the guy could have held up who hit him. I don't know what he was thinking. Actually, I thought he could have blocked the kick. I think he got maybe was surprised that he was in there, and then got a little confused that he didn't block the kick and ended up hitting the kicker.
I did that one time in high school, and that's how I ended up here as a broadcaster.
That'll get you a
Bob
seat on
Carnes
the
to
bench.
this day, I think that's what he said. This would make a great career.
Well, you're good at it, I'll have to say that. I'm sorry it happened that way.
So 5-yard running into the kicker, our Cohn and Smith penalty flag on this 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a real good kick, so it's probably good for Central to kick it again.
So Wozni will stand about 5 yards deeper, this time near his 30-yard line to await this kick. Now another penalty marker down. We have movement up front.
That'll move him back.
A false start penalty here on Brookfield Central. We'll march him back the 5 yards off the running into the kicker. So we're back to where we started here.
Well, of all the things you work on in your first 2 weeks to get to this game, probably your special teams are maybe is the least. I know these coaches work on them a lot, but these are the where a lot of errors can make a difference in an early
good
season
snap
game. Yeah.
Another line drive punt, however. It will bounce across midfield and will roll dead at the 47-yard line of the Indians.
Yeah, good coverage, but they also got good field position.
35-yard punt, no return, out to the 47-yard line. That's where the Indians will take over. Just over 7.5 minutes to go here in our first half in a tie ball game.
Well, we'll see if they can come back with another drive here with good field position.
Impressed so far with how they responded to start that last drive.
Yeah.
You called it, Coach. Maybe mix it up a little bit, try to get to the edges and throw a few passes in early on the early downs.
There's a lot of guys. If you look at the picture right now, there's a lot of guys packed in tight there for Central, and there's a lot of room out here in this is a big field. There's a lot of area out here.
Nixon again going to throw on first down, a low pass. Nice catch here on the near sideline by the split end for Mukwonago. That was Jordan Brookins, a junior, 5'10", his first reception tonight. Terry Wallen making the stop, pickup of about 6 here for the Indians.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a low throw, but he did a good job of catching it. There you see a shot of Coach Tom Taraska, who was coached at Arrowhead for 27 years, one of the more successful coaches in the area and state. He's running the defense now for Brookfield Central.
2nd and 4 from the Lancer 48-yard line. Try and get the pitch back. Timmer's able to get it in the backfield, but he'll be drilled for a loss. All the way back inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line is where his progress was stopped, and just a bad play all around there between Nixon and Timmers.
That's inexperience there, and fortunately they didn't lose the ball. They just lost yardage, but that nullifies that first down pass. And now we'll see what they can do on 3rd down. They did throw a lot of swing passes in practice that I watched, and I think they have some screens as well, so we'll see what they come up with here.
Loss of 7 back to the 45-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 11 here for the Mukwonago Indians. Again, packed tight in the box is the defense here for the Lancers. And they'll give it to the fullback, Timmers with some running room around the outside. He's got some room down the far sideline. Inside the 20, it's Jason Strickler down to the 18-yard line. Big gain for the Indians, bails them out on 3rd and long.
Well, that's not the play you would look for on 3rd and long at that situation. And it was very successful. It was a good call. Straight ahead. They're looking for pass. He bounces to the outside. Tackle missed there. Another tackle missed right there. And finally brought down at the 17. A nice run, a good call.
Strickler, the 5'11 senior, the fullback out of that triple option look, gets the first down inside the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. This time they'll pitch it here to the near side.
Well, Obasi out there almost as quick as the ball was.
Obasi, the senior, leader on that defense, leading tackler coming back from a year ago.
Yeah, he's going to have to put on some weight, I think, to play in the Big Ten, but you'll easily do. But he's got all the other things you can't really build, and that's quickness and speed, things like that.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Just over 5 minutes to go here in our first half. Tie ball game. Mukwonago on a drive after the big run by Strickler, trying to capitalize. Nixon will duck in under center. Strickler, the fullback behind him, the wings, Timmers and Timmers. And the pitch goes near side. This is Dan Timmers with some running room inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line before he's wrestled down by Mike Egan, the senior cornerback.
Well, they ran that into the short side of the field where they had a little bit more room, and they pinned the linebacker inside and were able to get that pitch outside.
Gain of 6 on the play brings up 3rd and 5 here for Mukwonago.
So now they could have 2 downs to get this first down if they wanted to. Otherwise, they're in position to kick a field goal.
Wagner and Moss, the split ends. As Nixon will get them set. And the handoff goes to the end coming around. Again, it's McCartan on the carry.
Yeah, Matt McCartan, the quarterback, also plays that slot position.
BC and Melton there to make the stop. Short of the first down. Bring up 4th and about 2 here for Mukwonago.
They're going to go for it. This is an important down to establish.
They bring Jordan Brookins in as an extra wide out here on 4th down. And before we get that play off, we'll take a timeout here as Clay Iverson wants to talk about it. We'll take our quarter break here. 3:27 to go. Tie ball game. Lancers and Indians from Mukwonago. Thursday Night Lights on My 24. It's Real Fan Cam presented to you every week by Wendy's. Wendy's, now that's better. Youth football in attendance here tonight. Good crowd here. School yet to start out here in Mukwonago, but the stands all filled here on that west sideline and in the end zone. Band in all its glory here tonight also for Mukwonago.
They have an outstanding youth program here. They have had for years. Football is an important part of the community here, and they really support it. Another thing, the Mukwonago players do a good job of getting involved in that youth program and going down and talking to the kids and telling them what it takes to become a high school player, a good player, about being a good student, those type of things. And that's, if it starts in the lower levels, why that certainly builds on the way up.
4th and 2 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the 10-yard line. The pitch goes to Timmers, trying to get the edge on the left side. Has a lane to the pylon. Touchdown, Mukwonago. They take their first lead of the night as the pitch goes to Dan Timmers coming around the left side for the touchdown.
And he was sprung by a good block. I think it's by Matt McCartan out there, number 8. I think you'll see him right there. Just got onto number 47, outside linebacker Dom Safira, and McCartan was able to outrun him to the corner.
First score of the year for the senior Dan Timmers. And they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. They catch him napping the pass to Timmers. The 2-point conversion is good. The direct snap to Aaron Nixon, who's normally the holder, and they caught Brookfield Central napping. That's not going to go over well by Jamie Muhlmans, I am sure.
All they do is count heads, and if you've got them outnumbered, you run the play.
It's that swinging gate formation, as you mentioned, Coach, and that's right. You just start counting up. If they don't have enough on that side, you just go with it. And the direct snap to Nixon and the pass to Timmers for the two-point conversion makes it a 15-7 ball game.
The trick on that is that the snapper is on the end of the line, and he is an eligible receiver. And sometimes he goes unaccounted for. Now, they didn't throw it to him, but he was behind him, and they had to cover him, and that was Tangway, I believe, on that particular play, and he's 6'5" target.
So Clay Iverson, in his first season as head coach here in Mukwonago, gets his first lead here tonight.
It appears to me that Mukwonago has settled down a little bit. He's a very excitable guy, and I think the kids were up and they want to please their coach. He's the new guy, and now they've kind of settled in, and the edge is off, and now they're starting to play football, and I like what they see, and I think they got to be happy with what's happened. And field position was one of our keys to the game. Once they got Brookfield Central backed up, the whole game changed.
Last time Timmers blasted one into the end zone following their first touchdown tonight. Brandon Meyer deep along with Marcus Crum. Timmers again, a strong boot. Meyer will take at the goal line, up the hash mark to the numerals at the 20, and he is met and drilled at the 21-yard line. Nice play on special teams.
Jared Madden.
Jared Madden and Dominic Sizauskas was also there. Mike was standing right there. Mike McGivern, are you still there?
That's quick feet on my part. Hey, listen, on the Brook Central sideline, no fussing, just kind of coaching. Coach Taraska did think that there was a hold on that touchdown, but I'll tell you what, very calm, cool as Coach Taraska is, talking defensively about containment and how they need to change up a couple of things, but they're fine over there.
That's the advantage of a veteran coaching staff. How many head coaches can tell you their assistant coaches have over 500 wins?
Yeah, right.
First and 10, Lancers from the 21-yard line. Richards wants to throw, going deep, and it's going to be picked off. A beautiful interception on the play, tipping it to himself. Defensively was Wozni, the cornerback, who was step for step with the receiver. Let's get another look at that.
Well, Wozni was the defender on the touchdown play, and he played that one perfectly too, but the ball was thrown better. This time it was thrown right to Wozni, and he was able to make the play. Almost tipped it to the receiver, but that's a case of the ball was thrown where the defender could get it.
Melton was the intended target. Last time Melton got the touchdown off that same route.
Right.
This time Wozni was right there. And we had a personal foul face mask after the interception by Tyler Wozni. So turnovers now even at one apiece here tonight.
That moves it to the 47-yard line of Brookfield Central, which is just what Mukwonago needs. They want to run their offense, and they've got room to do it.
Now, would this be an occasion where you might want to step on the accelerator here a little bit following a turnover?
I don't know if they would go for it. I think I would run my offense and try to get a first down, maybe use up the clock as much as I can and score at the end of the half if they could.
Nixon's looking here to the near side. They've got Dan Schutte here split out near side single coverage. And they'll give it to the fullback, Strickler. He is met in the backfield and driven down for a 1-yard loss.
Option teams don't make their living by throwing passes. They use the pass as a weapon, but they don't win games usually by passing up and down the field. So if they can get Central down by a couple scores, that changes what they've got to do. And when you got two option teams, the game isn't as long sometimes either. So they're not going to have that many possessions to get caught up.
No gain on the play, second down and 10. Obasi on the tackle on that last stop for Brookfield Central. Coming around the near side with it. This is McCartan. McCartan with some running room. He'll pick up the first down inside the 35 and wrestle out of bounds shy of the 30. Van Ark able to ride him out of bounds.
Now, Mukwonago's slot backs are doing a good job of running the ball to the outside. You see they got the edge again. Good block out there by the flanker. He's a little tired. He's been working hard here in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
So another big gain to the 31-yard line for Mukwonago. Again, they've been able to beat Brookfield Central to the edges on the big plays tonight.
Well, and that's why they haven't gotten any yards at the middle, because they've got everything packed in there.
From the 31-yard line. Nixon wants to throw with time, going over the middle. It is tipped and incomplete. Looking for Robbie Moss, the senior, 6'2", 180, going over the middle, the split end. Shim was out there in coverage as we get another look.
Just a little slant route over the middle. More of a banana, I guess, and slanted. Looked right and then threw it back to the left. Bent down a little bit. It's either going to be caught by him or intercepted by the free safety there.
From the 31, 2nd down and 10. Timmers in motion left. Nixon fakes to the fullback Strickler and will keep it, dancing his way forward inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line where he is stopped there.
Well, he got that pretty much by himself. He spun out of that tackle and was able to get about 5-6 yards. See it right here, fakes to the fullback. Melton misses the tackle, and then he spins for about 5-6. So we have 3rd and about 4 here, long 4.
And Brookian credited with the stop for the Lancers. 3rd and a good 4 yards here as we got a minute 45 remaining here in this first half. Mukwonago up 8. This time they'll pitch it out to Zach Timmers. Timmers trying to get the edge left side, nothing doing. Well read out there, strung out nicely by that Brookfield Central defense, as they were able to string that play right to the sideline and not allow Timmers to cut up field. Mike Egan out there on the corner, able to seal that one off.
Well, this is a big play for both teams. Central would like to get the ball back. Mukwonago would like to keep it. 4th and 2 is a manageable distance. I think they're probably going to use a timeout here. Let clock run down a little bit.
They've got 1 timeout remaining. And Ron Kirk walking here to the near side.
They're watching for the field judge to start counting down on the 24-second clock. And now he's got, there's 5 seconds left before the penalty, and now they're going to call timeout.
Clay Iverson taking it all the way down here will take his final timeout.
In high school football in Wisconsin, there's a 25-second clock, but there's no clock for the people to watch like there is in college NFL. So the field judge, who stands in the middle of the field in the secondary, when it gets down to 5 seconds, he starts moving his hand and counting down, and that's how they knew that they had to call timeout in order to stop the clock.
Well, we've seen the Indians make the adjustment offensively tonight, trying to get to the edges, running the ball. Now we're going to see Tom Taraska, the defensive coordinator, maybe spread that defense out a little bit, or...
Well, I don't know. On that 3rd down play, they ran for a touchdown. They haven't gained much yardage inside the tackles. They've been able to get off tackle and outside. I think they'll probably go to the edge and see what they can do. I don't think they'll throw it. The only thing they haven't done is they haven't thrown a swing pass yet, which they did work on quite a bit in practice.
So an important 4th down here for Mukwonago. 41 seconds to go here first half.
They're on
the
left
inside,
hash.
left hash.
And they have a lot of room out here to the right. They have pretty much one-on-one coverage out here on this split end.
It'll be Wagner here to the near side for Mukwonago. And they'll pitch it back to Timmers. Timmers trying to get the edge here on the near side, inside the 20. Fumble the football. It's loose on the turf. And they'll dive for it there.
It's going to be close to the 1st down. I think he had it, and then he lost it now with recovering the fumble. Nope, they're moving the chains.
And they recovered it right there. Just jumped right in front of Terry Wallen that time, the corner, able to make the recovery.
That was a lucky bounce.
So they get the 1st down. Clock will run here. 30 seconds to go here in the half. And Mukwonago out of timeouts here. So
I'm not sure why they let the clock run down to use that timeout.
This will be Strickler up the middle.
Inside the 20-yard line.
I think they're going to be happy kicking and trying to field goal.
I think that's what they're trying to do here, is maybe try and Maybe clock it right here is what they may do. Exactly. Yeah. They'll clock it here with 4 seconds left. They'll go for the field goal here to end this first half. Well, we've been watching the kickers here tonight. They've both been booming some kicks here with the wind. So
it's really interesting. I guess the option teams think a little different. They decided to let the clock run down and try to kick a field goal when they had Central on the run a little bit. So,
this will be a 35-yard attempt from the near hash. Kolb on the snap, the hold by Nixon, the drive by Timmers through plenty of distance, and it is good. Beautiful kick by Timmers to end this first half as he drills the 35-yard field goal. And Mukwonago will take an 18-7 lead into the locker room here at the half. Good clock management there by Clay Iverson. Took it all the way down. He was out of timeouts. Got his quarterback's attention to snap and clock the football. And Timmers drilling the 35-yard field goal to end our first half.
Well, it was an interesting half. I think Brookfield Central won the first quarter, and Mukwonago really won the second quarter.
And that's odd because if you look at last season, Brookfield Central outscored its opponents 141-69 in the second quarter. Yeah. But they were outscored here in the second quarter 18-7. Yep. And that's an Indian lead here. Mukwonago on top as we'll head to a break here from Mukwonago on My 24 Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's. This is our My 24 Thursday Night Lights halftime report sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. John Weiser, Dick Basham, Mike McGivern back with you here in Mukwonago tonight. An 18-point second quarter here for the Indians as they take an 18-7 lead into the locker room. And things really began to turn around after that touchdown by Brookfield Central. They got a good kickoff return to the Indians out toward midfield, and they were able to get to the edges outside the hash here and a little bit quicker to the edges, and that really the difference in that second quarter.
Yeah, field position is very important to any football team, but especially to option teams because they do not depend on the pass. And Mukwonago had not been able to establish much at all. They had primarily tried to run up inside, and maybe that was their plan to pound the middle a little bit and get Central to concentrate on that. And then they've been hitting the edges with the sweep, and the quarterback was able to keep it a couple of times and get outside. So field position has really made a difference. And then they've also kept, on their kickoffs, kept Central backed up inside the 20-yard line or in that vicinity, and they haven't been able to get out of there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the second half now that they've got a few minutes to talk things over.
Well, let's head back downstairs to Mike McGivern. Has a group ready to interview here.
He's here with First Bank Financial Center, again sponsoring Thursday Night Lights. We're so appreciative. Kevin, how are you? It's always good to see you.
Good, thank you, Mike.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on at First Bank Financial Center.
Well, we're very proud of the fact that we are now able to say that we're celebrating 153 years in southeastern Wisconsin, serving our clients and our friends with not only a full slate of financial service products, but also by volunteering in the communities. It's very important to us. In fact, 80% of our employees volunteer in the communities that we serve.
You guys have a couple new locations?
We do. As a matter of fact, we are now located in Mequon. We're on Port Road, just north of Mequon Road, and also in Brookfield in the Sendex Town Center. And we're very happy to have Derek Barabee, our new branch manager, here along with us.
Derek, welcome. It's the first time we have met. I appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about your branch.
Thank you, John. John, we're very excited in Brookfield, myself and First Bank Financial, to be part of the Brookfield community. It's been a great endeavor for us, and we're very excited. First Bank truly believes in giving back to the local communities as a full-service bank. We have 10 local branches, and we also are the #1 lender in the state for small business loans. We also have a mortgage lender for each individual office that represents the office. Dan Kindle represents the West Bend branch.
Excellent. Dan, tell us a little bit about, hi Dan, how are you? Good. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Well, you know, the mortgage division's been around for about 3-4 years now, and it's growing. We got 12 loan officers just providing southeastern Wisconsin services to our customers, face-to-face, voice-to-voice. Never anything automated, and it's always just treating our customers as if they're part of the family.
You know, you guys talk a lot about being the local branch, and Kevin talked about a lot of people giving back to the community. That's really important to the people at First Bank Financial Center.
You're absolutely correct. We're constantly involved in all the communities for which the branches are around with items pertaining to fundraisers and local chamber events and so on and so forth.
You know, I get a chance to visit your branch in Oconomowoc, and you know, I'm always just thrilled going in because I've been there a number of times and people know my name, and I walk in and it feels as though I'm part of the family.
It's very important for us to know that you feel that way, because that's exactly how we want to treat our customers.
Boys, I got to tell you, First Bank Financial Center is a great partner with My 24 and Thursday Night Lights, and continue to be the local branch. You get a chance to visit them. Back to you boys up in the booth.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And again, thanks to our good friends at First Bank Financial Center, back on board for our third season here of Thursday Night Lights. Well, taking advantage of a couple of turnovers, a fumble recovery, and interception. I'm going back to your keys of the game earlier for Brookfield Central is to keep those turnovers to a minimum, and that did not happen in that first half.
Yeah, that didn't happen, and we also established that Mukwonago needed to play field position. That means keep Central backed up as far as they can, and that also happened in the second quarter. And combination there of having the opportunity given to them to score, and then keeping Central back has evened this game actually evened up, and they've moved ahead now and seem to have what would be considered a commanding lead.
18-7, Mukwonago on top of Brookfield Central. We'll pause and take a break. Back with more in Mukwonago right after this. Halftime report sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Mukwonago up by 11 here at the end of our first half on our third season of Thursday Night Lights with Dick Basham, John Weiser, Mike McGivern with you here tonight as well. And just an outstanding evening for football. Week one of an 8-week schedule. We talked about that early on. There's really no what you call gimmies, or at least a check down of your first week to get ready. You've got to be in and ready to go here right from the get-go on week one.
Yeah, the non-conference games don't determine whether you make the playoffs or not, but they do tell you what you need to fix in time to get into conference games. To get in the playoffs in Wisconsin, you have to have a winning record usually in your conference games. Sometimes you can get in with a 3-3 or 4-4 record if you're in a different conference that doesn't have 8 teams. But it's nice to have 2 games to work the kinks out. One, the first game, and then the second game to make some changes, and then you feel like you're ready for that first conference game. Well, this is going to be different this year, and it's why it happened this way is a long story. We probably don't have time to explain it, but they did lose a game, and I think it's too unfortunate for the players because they work so hard. This is a sport where you don't play in the off season. You don't have AAU teams. It's the fall is the only time you really play it, other than maybe a camp or 2 in the summer where you don't play real football. So it's really unfortunate for the kids that they don't get that 9th game. Now, they can play a 9th game. That is allowed. If you don't make the playoffs, you can schedule a game with another non-playoff team. That varies from school to school, and the excitement isn't quite the same as playing in the playoffs.
Well, let's head back downstairs. Third member of our crew, Mike McGivern.
Hey, guys, I'm here with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Major, not minor, Major, Sandra Huxtable. Thanks a lot for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about Zero in Wisconsin Traffic Safety Campaign. What's it really about?
Well, our ultimate goal is to eventually reduce preventable traffic deaths to 0 in Wisconsin. So that's why we've gone with that moniker of 0 in Wisconsin.
A little bit about what you do, Sandra, and the type of things that you try to accomplish.
Okay, with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation and State Patrol, what we do is we partner with local law enforcement agencies to get additional safety programs out there across the state. And then we program with other community activists and things like that as well. Our ultimate goal, again, is to try to improve safety on our highways and reduce traffic deaths.
No doubt. Hey, let's talk a little bit about what needs to be done to reach the 0 in Wisconsin goal that you guys have.
Well, our main goal is to try to get everyone that's either driving in a vehicle or riding in a vehicle to make sure they're doing it as safely as possible. And so it's basically following all the traffic laws, make sure that they're not speeding, make sure that they're not driving while they're impaired, and no matter whether you're a driver or the passenger, buckle up every time, every trip.
It's Major Sandra Huxtable. doing really good work trying to get people safe here in the state of Wisconsin. We really appreciate the sponsorship and you being here.
Well, thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
Man, I love a girl in uniform who's not trying to put handcuffs or arrest me or anything. Back to you boys up in the booth.
Oh, Mike, yeah. Up in the booth, John Weiser, Dick Basham back with you, and 18-7 lead here for Mukwonago at the half, and talked about some of the changes that Brookfield Central may have to do here in this second half to get back in this ball game.
Well, they need to get some first downs again. You know, they started out pretty well and moved the ball, and they threw that long bomb for a touchdown. Nobody really established much in the first quarter, but that long pass was perfectly thrown, as I said at the time. But they need to get their offense going. They need to do something about the outside edges on the defense. They certainly haven't gained any yardage up the middle. So they've got to get better flow to the outside. I think they'll work on that, maybe change their alignment slightly, give them a little bit inside and maybe dare them to run outside. I think for Mukwonago, they want to keep the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and keep solid play. Don't panic. Don't sit on it. I don't think you can play like the game is over. That's certainly not going to happen. And I don't remember who won the toss and who's going to kick off to who. But I think the third quarter is usually really important in a close game like this. This is two pretty evenly matched teams from two really solid conferences, and they're both going to know how they stack up when they get done with this game.
Our halftime report, sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. We'll be back with more from Mukwonago Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Thursday Night Lights halftime report, sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. The Mukwonago Pep Band here tonight. They are playing tonight for their home opener.
Yeah.
Here come the highlights from the first quarter early on, as you see Richards for the Lancers on the pitch.
Defensive highlight here. The good job of stringing that play out and covering by Mukwonago. Here's the fumble, that first turnover. They just didn't make the handoff.
And you see Mukwonago in that first quarter had some trouble as well, putting up with a very quick Lancer defense.
Well, there's Tevin Melton back in the backfield. Didn't make the tackle, but he certainly broke that play up. Here's a little swing pass out to, this is Dan Timmer. Pretty well covered by Brook Central. Harris up the middle for a good gain. Solid running back. And this is a little quarterback draw with Richards. A sweep handoff to that's Ross Miller. Well defended there by Mukwonago. Same play the other way. Not as well defended. Pretty well executed by Central. Here you see Harris coming right straight at us. That's what it looks like on the field. Option keep, well defended by Central. This is the quarterback keep on the option. Really good fake that sucked everybody in and for the touchdown. And here's a toss to, this is Zach Timmer. The touchdown was Aaron Nixon, by the way, from Muck. Good defensive play right there. Fullback. That's an ill-advised play right there. Good defense, but that's a play that, and Aaron Nixon, he knows that he probably shouldn't have pitched that ball. Fortunately, they didn't lose it. This is the give to Strickler, I believe, that on a long gain on that third down play. And this is Matt McCartan came in and did a good job. And there's Dan Timmer going for the touchdown. This is the two-point conversion play, I believe. Yeah, and then that's also a little dump pass to Dan Timmer as well. So this is the long pass for the touchdown. Oh no, this is the interception. They had the touchdown earlier in the game, and this time it wasn't thrown quite as well, and Wozni was in place to make the play. Good job of escaping there by Aaron Nixon. And there's a warm-up kick right there.
So we take a look at the numbers here at
this will be interesting. Yeah, Mukwonago really doubled up on him on the rushing yards, 35 yards in that one long pass for there, but the total yardage, 143-87, 2 turnovers to none. I think that's huge. And tackles for a loss, about even there. So I think that pretty well explains the game right there. That's how it happened. Brookfield Central gave them chances, and they took it, and they're up 18-7.
Coach, you mentioned something early in the broadcast about toward the end of the first quarter. You noticed a little bit of a change in Mukwonago. It looked like the game finally came to them here after their second and third possession.
Well, as I said at the time, they have a new coach here, and it's been 2005 was Keith Hensler's last year, and then there was the 6 years between then and now, and it didn't go the way Mukwonago was used to, and I'm not saying anything bad happened. It just didn't happen. And so they decided to make a change, and Clay Iverson is a community guy. His wife teaches here. His kids go to school here. He's now going to teach here. And he's embraced the pass, as we said earlier as well. And I think the kids want to please their coach. That's what kids want to do. They want to please their coaches. I mean, why would you work so hard and do all this practicing if you didn't want to please the coaches? So I think that once that edge, kind of the excitement and the edge worn off about let's please coach, and now they're playing football, and that all happens because of that. So they've done a good job of turning it around.
The other interesting thing at halftime, we're directly above the visitor locker room here, and very quiet down there. You didn't hear any stomping of feet and pounding of the whiteboard. Right. You've got a veteran coaching staff over there at Brookfield Central, as Mike Dooley noted after that touchdown, the first touchdown they gave up. There was no panic in the eyes of the coaches. They methodically talked to their defense, and Tom Taraska talking to the defense. You've got Phil Datka over there on the offensive side along with Joe Cook. So, I mean, you've got some veteran assistants that are basically holding steady here and saying, hey, come on now, guys, we're still in this ball game.
Well, you take Tom Taraska won 265 games as a head coach. Phil Datka won 280 games as a head coach. Joe Cook has won 145 games as a head coach. Those guys, they've been here before. Now, this is huge. Coaches, oftentimes get too much credit for losing and maybe too much credit for winning, whatever. But right now, these guys have been here before. They'll focus their guys. The second half is a chance for them to get back in the game.
Wraps up our halftime, sponsored by Zero in Wisconsin, brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Second half coming your way next, right here on My 24. Eleven-point lead for Mukwonago as we get set to start our second half here in Mukwonago. John Weiser, Dick Basham, along with Mike McGivern tonight, as we take a look at Aaron Nixon's night so far.
Right, the junior quarterback has had a good first game. It's his first game starting as a varsity quarterback. He's 3 for 5 passing, 6 carries. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. Has a touchdown. Done a good job of managing the offense. He made the one bad pitch that we showed earlier, but there's the touchdown run. He's stayed within his game, and he's got his team ahead by 11 points. Dan Timmers has done a good job as well. He's also the kicker. 6 carries for 17 yards and a touchdown. Here you see the little 2-point conversion, which could end up to be huge. We don't know yet. We'll know at the end of the game if it makes a difference or not.
Well, it certainly made it a 2-score difference here.
Right.
And Brookfield Central will get the ball to start our second half.
Well, this is huge for Central. They get their first crack. They need to get back in the game here.
Myers and Marcus Crum standing deep to receive the kick by Timmers. This will be a short kick. Crum will run under it at the 15. Across the 20, cuts it to the 30, to the sideline, and wrestled out of bounds. Just across the 31-yard line, Sizoskis there to make the stop defensively for Mukwonago.
Well, I'm not sure that's what Mukwonago wanted as far as field position. They had been kicking it in the end zone, but 32-yard line's a little bit better for Central than it's been for the last 8 or 9 minutes of the game. So we'll see if they can make some adjustments here and get the football moving down the field.
And we'd like to thank the great folks at Milwaukee High Lift for helping bring these great pictures to you tonight. They provided the scissor lift for our cameras tonight, so for any aerial platform need, rental, sales, or service, call the great folks at Milwaukee High Lift or visit them online at MilwaukeeHighlift.com. Fumble again, and it's recovered once again by Mukwonago. Third turnover of the night as DeMario Harris lost control of the ball at the first down marker, and the Indians with their third takeaway tonight near midfield. Looked like Krieger may have stripped the football. Let's see. It was Krieger who recovered the football.
Jake Krieger.
Might have been Sizowskis who forced that fumble for Mukwonago. Third turnover of the night.
Well, he wasn't really hit that hard. He was struggling for extra yardage, and the ball just got away from him. And huge break because it was a good run. It was a first down. Would have been about a 15-yard gain, and now they have the ball inside the 50-yard line again, playing on a short field.
From the Lancer 47-yard line on the turnover, the Indians take control here. Long count by Nixon. Will send Zach Timmers in motion. He'll reverse around to the left side. Penalty marker down. Toss it over the middle to Dan Timmers. Through his hands. Incomplete. But a penalty marker back near midfield. An illegal motion, the call here against Mukwonago. So our Cohn and Smith penalty flag this time, and I believe it's going to go on Timmers. May have cut upfield on his motion here to the near side.
I think so.
So a 5-yard walk-off here against Mukwonago. Again, we want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. You can log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons, and you can even post your own photos and join the Thursday Night Lights conversation on Facebook or Twitter. That's my24milwaukee.com. The pitch to Zach Timmers across midfield to his own 49-yard line. Wrapped up by Dan Sorensen, the senior defensive end here on the near side.
Well, that was a combination of running into the short side of the field and running out of room, and good defense by Central.
Good job by Billy Shim.
Billy Shim came up and made the play. I see they've switched to Billy Shim and Mike Egan around. Egan's playing free safety and Shim's playing corner.
Gain of 3 on the play. Make it 4, 2nd and 11. We're early third quarter. Mukwonago getting their third pick of the ball game here. Third turnover. Trying to capitalize here. On the option keep. Nixon pitches it back to Timmers. Fumbles the football forward. It goes out of bounds. A lucky break here for the Indians. And again, Nixon and Timmers having trouble running that option to the far side.
Well, pitching with your left hand if you're a right-handed quarterback, which Nixon is, may not be his cup of tea right here, but now it's right in his hands. I think Timmers took his eye off the ball. Fortunately, it went out of bounds, and they ended up with about a 5-yard gain out of the deal.
They'll spot it at the 44 of Brookfield Central. A key third down here for Mukwonago.
Yeah, I don't think you want to waste this opportunity, and you certainly don't want to give it back to Central.
Zach Timmers on a wing here to the near side. Line up a wideout here as well. Jordan Brookins. Timmers in motion. And it's the quarterback, Nixon, who had everybody faked out.
I don't think anybody knew where the ball was.
Exactly.
He fell on it, and I think the officials were looking to see where it was, too. I know I was.
A loss of 1 on the play back to the 45-yard line, and so an opportunity goes by the wayside here for Mukwonago. They will have to kick it away.
Well, they should be able to back him up and get good field position here. You'd like to pooch it down inside the 20-yard line and make them fair catch it.
Shim to the near side, Wallen to the far side on the return here for Brookfield Central.
Well, they got him pinned in. They're
Fair
going to
catch signaled for and made near the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted right there.
Field position, playing the field position game here with 2 minutes gone by here in our third quarter, an 11-point Mukwonago lead. I want to thank again First Bank Financial Center, our first down sponsor this season. First Bank Financial Center, discover the community bank difference. We thank them for joining us again for our third season here on My 24, Thursday Night Lights. Lancers need to get something to go here.
Okay, they're splitting their formation out a little bit here, looking like they want to pass it. Trips this way.
Shars tries to keep it, pulled down from behind. Nice play. And a late penalty. They're going to call a horse collar,
I believe.
While they sort this one out, let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Guys, I'm listening to Coach Iverson talk to their running backs, say finish the play, initiate contact, finish the play. On the Brook Central side, they're trying to keep their heads up. Coach is trying to keep the players' heads up. Heads going down a little bit. They need something good to happen offensively on this drive.
Well, let's see what the call will be here. It is a personal foul, horse collar.
Yeah. That means he grabbed him by the shoulder pads and pulled him down. It's one of those things that happens.
Tangway, I believe, the guilty party there. He just got the jersey just enough to throw him off balance.
Yeah, that might have been iffy.
And again, it's player safety at this level.
I get it. Yeah, that wasn't intentional. It just happened.
So a first down just shy of the 30-yard line, and pitch it out. Crum trying to crash his way across the line of scrimmage. Well read, well strung out by that Indian defense that time. It was led by Krieger, Austin Krieger, the defensive end, in on the stop.
Central's using that trips formation where they bring 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, trying to spread the defense out, but it doesn't seem to be accomplishing what they're hoping it would. Back to the double slot here now.
Harris, the lone man in the backfield. Pass out of this formation. They throw it behind the intended target. Again, looking for Vantuan Melton, the senior, with 1 touchdown catch already tonight.
A little bit behind him. He couldn't make the turn to catch it.
So it'll bring up 3rd and long.
I think Richards has shown he's got a strong arm. He throws the ball, a nice tight spiral. Just needs to work on his accuracy a little bit. All the players from Central play have a wristband, and they look at the wristband for their play.
3rd and 8. Harris on the carry, met in the hole and dropped for no gain. Beautiful play in there defensively. Nick Blum, the senior, 6'3", 213, in the hole that time for the stop.
You know, we're seeing quickness as beating power here right now. No, Nick Blum is a great story. He's a 4.0 student, #1 in the class.
Potential Ivy League in his
Ivy
future?
League player. Coach Iverson called him a hybrid player. That means they might play him anywhere on the field. He's just got that kind of talent. Of course, he's smart enough to figure it out and learn it all.
Indians want to take a timeout here defensively, their first of this second half. Well, I got a moment. I was handed a note here before we went on the air tonight. The folks out here at Mukwonago want us to say hello to Dick Jensen, a 1951 graduate of Mukwonago and a huge Indian football fan out here. He wasn't able to make it here tonight for the ball game, and he is watching us back home on My 24. So, Dick, they tell us they miss you deeply out here. They want you back out here
no more
for the
excuses.
next home game.
Right.
So, Dick Jensen viewing our game here tonight.
Well, it's certainly a good game, and if you're a Mukwonago fan, you're happy. So,
speaking of happy, how about this season? Wendy's will be giving away a free Frosty to students who show their student ID when purchasing a combo meal at any of the participating Wendy's locations in southeast Wisconsin. I like that, free Frosty. Those are 2 words in my vocabulary. Let me tell you, remember that. Free Frosty to students who show their student ID when purchasing a combo meal at any of our participating Wendy's locations.
well, the fake is always in order, but I don't believe that they'll fake it here. They just can't afford to give field position back to Mukwonago.
Wozni standing deep to await the kick. A short spiraling kick that will bounce at the 45 and roll dead at the 50. Only a 19-yard punt. So once again, Mukwonago set up with good field position here, as with 8.5 minutes to go, they have an 11-point lead. And once again, we go down to Sports Radio 1250 WSSP's Mike McGivern on the sideline.
Hey guys, we're here with Steve Cohn from Cohn & Smith, new sponsor on Thursday Night Lights. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Hey, we are happy to be part of the Channel 24 team. Thanks.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about your practice, how long you've been doing this?
I've been doing this 35 years. My law partner, Jonathan Smith, about 20. And we do criminal defense work from pretty much all different walks of life.
Every time there's a penalty flag, you're going to hear these guys, and they do good work. Again, thank you for being part of our family.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Back to you, boys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And we're happy to have Cohn & Smith on board this season here on Thursday Night Lights. As the stop made by Austin Van Ark on the carry here by...
yeah, you see the give to the fullback.
Yep. Strickler once again.
They read the number 74 there. He ran by the play. They gave the fullback, and he came right up the middle.
Now they're going to bring the sticks in for a measurement here. 9.5, maybe 10 here if we stretch it out far enough. And by the nose of the football, it'll be a first down. Coming this fall to My 24, it's everyone's favorite Dr. House on Tuesdays. And on Wednesdays, criminals find that their number is up on Numbers. So don't miss 2 great new shows this fall on Milwaukee's My 24. 1st and 10, Mukwonago from the 40-yard line. Timmers tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Nice read up front that time by Trevin Melton. In on the stop almost immediately at the handoff point.
Right.
No gain on the play.
They're still establishing an option. You know, they keep running inside. They're not going to let Central forget that, but then they're going to use that to get to the outside of the field.
Nixon will duck in under center. The pitch goes to Zach Timmers, coming around the near side with some room. Inside the 25 and wrestled down just short of the 31-yard line. Once again, Vinark and Mavis in on the stop for the Lancers.
Well, Mukwonago's actually running kind of an unbalanced line. They don't have an eligible receiver on this side of the ball other than they've moved the tight end over on the side of the split end, and they're running back away from that to this short side here, and they're finding a shorter edge and getting out to the open field quicker.
3rd and 2 for Mukwonago. Need to get just across the 30-yard line for the first down. They'll send Timmers in motion. Strickler gets the carry, and he is met in the backfield for a loss. And Brookian, the other fine senior defensive player on that Lancer team, for the tackle for loss.
Yeah, they sniffed that out. They were all over that. And now they're in that nowhere zone. It's probably a little too close to goal line to punt, a little too far to kick a field goal. So see what they decide to do. I hope they don't have to burn a timeout here by not being ready to get the play in. I want to save those timeouts for the end of the game. They've already used one.
Oh, and they really cut it close at the end of the half. They were without a timeout, had to clock the football with 4 seconds left to get that field goal. And they just beat the 25-second clock. The pitch to Zach Timmers trying the near side, and he'll be stopped short of the first down, and Brookfield Central will take over on downs. Once again, Austin Vinark in on the tackle, and that will lead us to our third quarter commercial break here in Mukwonago. 5:44 to play, an 11-point Mukwonago lead. This is Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's on My 24. It's our Thursday Night Lights Real Fan Cam presented to you every week by Wendy's. Wendy's, now that's better. Again, the Braves youth football team out there, and there's a future Mukwonago Indian.
Yep. Cute little guy.
Clay's recruiting them young out
Yes,
here, I
he
see.
does.
Huh? Well, let's see what Brookfield Central can do. They were able to stop Mukwonago on downs at their own 35-yard line. They need to get some momentum here. Need to pick up a couple of first downs. Richards will swing it out far side. Rossmiller takes it across the 40, just shy of the 42-yard line. Pickup of about 7 for Rob Rossmiller, the senior slot back, brought down by Madden.
Well, a nice safe first down pass to the wide side of the field, and they just outflanked Mukwonago and were able to get good yardage. 2nd and 3 is real manageable for an option team.
See if they try and get DeMario Harris involved here. Harris will get the call to the middle, first down and more. Across midfield, wrestled down across the 45 at the 43-yard line. Tyler Wozni with the bear hug tackle that time, but a huge gain for DeMario Harris. He's had a quiet evening tonight. After early on, first couple carries really found some running room, but has been a little bit absent here in the offense. Maybe they can rediscover him here in the second half.
He has a nice burst. Once he clears that line of scrimmage, he gets in the secondary. He's a problem.
They'll get the call again, trying to spin out at the line of scrimmage and wrestle down there. Sazowskis along with
Tangway and Sazowskis look like
Tangway too.
Yep.
Gain of about 1 sets up 2nd down and 9 for the Lancers. And this is a team that rolled up over 3,100 yards rushing last year.
Yeah, that's how they make their living, and this is how they do it right here, what they've done the last 3 plays.
Throw it here. Richard's trying to swing it out through the hands of Crum. Is that a live ball or not?
No,
the official here on the near sideline blew it dead.
I'd like to see that. It might have been, but
we get another look at this one here.
That was well covered too. You're going to see the Mukwonago defender is right there.
Well, that was a forward pass.
Yeah, that was forward.
The defender out there did a nice job. It forced Crum to take his eye off the ball. That was Ty Belling.
Ty Belling, yeah.
So 3rd and long now for Brookfield Central. It seems like they've been in that situation all evening here tonight.
Yeah, they had those 2 long plays and got some good field position, and then all of a sudden now they've gone away from what got them there.
They'll split Crum out to the right side.
Drew
Peterson in an extra split end here to the near side.
Sometimes when you're down and you're not moving the ball the way you want to, you can get a little impatient and try to get too many big gains.
They'll give it to Harris. He'll pound his way forward up the middle, taking tacklers with him, and finally Tangway able to wrestle him down just shy of the 35-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down. An interesting call here. I think you go for it if you're Brookfield Central.
So
you go right back to Demario Harris as we get another look.
Yeah. This is a good strong run. I think they described him as sliding and gliding a little early, and I think I see that. He does kind of glide a little bit, but he's got power too.
4th down and 2 here for the Lancers. Late here in the 3rd quarter. Needs some momentum. They fake to Harris. Richards will keep it, trying to go right side, and he won't get the 1st down. Defense was ready. I believe it was Blum who was out there. May have sealed off the quarterback, Richards, along with Cameron Groves, the inside linebacker, and so the defense stiffens here for Mukwonago as we get another look.
Well, Tangway was all over this, and he forced the play outside right away, and once the defense knows where it's going, why, then there's no more mystery to the option.
So Mukwonago will take over on downs at their own 35-yard line. A First Bank 1st down.
First goal, I think, for Mukwonago now is to get field position back, get the ball back over the 50-yard line. Take some, use the clock a little bit, give their defense a chance to rest.
Nothing doing on the first play. They'd stacked that up well as Strickler again stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we got a yard, and that's about it.
They just have not been able to find anything up the middle tonight running the football.
Yeah, and one thing about Mukwonago, they like to stay out of predictable situations like 3rd and long. And 2nd and 9, you still can run the ball, but they haven't been successful lately with running the ball as they were in the 2nd quarter.
Nixon to throw. Swings it out near side, short-armed it, incomplete. Ryan Wagner, the intended receiver. He was open, but the pass thrown at his shoelaces.
Well, Newton got up the field, or Melton got up the field pretty quick, and I think that distracted him. He didn't get his feet set, threw off balance, and he threw a 1-bouncer, which is not going to get it done.
Well, here you're in that predictable down and distance.
This is predictable. Everybody's going to be. Now, of course, there's a way to take advantage of that also by taking advantage of the defensive aggressiveness. We'll see what happens here, what they try to do.
They bring Jordan Brookins in now as a wide out here to the near side on 3rd and 9. Timmers in motion to the left. Nixon running option, wants to pitch it back to Timmers, and it's again behind him on that left side.
Yeah.
And maybe a gain of 1 on the play as the ball was loose again. And Nixon showing he's going to have trouble going to that left side.
Yeah, he appears to be not as confident pitching going to the left. And that's something that inexperienced quarterback they need to work on. It'll get better as the year goes on. Hopefully it won't cost him a turnover or something.
Dan Timmers will remain in and punt this one away for the Indians.
Now, this is an important punt, too, because Central has 9 or 10 guys. Nope, they're going to put another guy back. So they have 9 up. I thought maybe they would try to rush the punter and force the kick a little bit, but they've got their 2 returners back. Both are very capable returners here.
Wallen, the experienced of the two, had 4 returns for 18 yards a season ago. Good snap back to Timmers. Gets a healthy foot into this one. Drives it to the sideline, and now it just depends on where they will mark it out. Probably somewhere near the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
The kick went out of bounds.
Actually, 44-yard line.
Well, it's not as good as they wanted, but
Spotted on the 44-yard line.
Well, you can check out the Wendy's Varsity Blitz High School Football Coaches Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Mike McGivern and Joe Cook will talk to a different coach each week. Saturday mornings at 10 on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Sometime this year we might get in on that.
yeah.
You think Mike will let us on?
I get my agent on that right away.
Coach Kelly, you on that? I think he does your bidding.
Yeah, he does.
I've learned a few things. DeMario Harris with a big hole.
We're talking about Terry Kelly, who was my assistant coach for 30-some years. He's our spotter, and he keeps track of me.
Sazowskis and Krieger, I believe, in on that stop. Yes, indeed. But another strong run up the middle for DeMario Harris.
That first down run has been good for him. They back on the other side of the 50-yard line.
12-yard pickup. Richard's going to run option, trying to get the left side. Breaks a tackle down to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play for the quarterback, Richards.
Austin Krieger made a good play, though. He strung it out and ran him down.
Krieger, the 6'1", 205-pounder, did not play last season.
He didn't,
for Mukwonago.
He's got a younger brother on the team. I believe Jake is a sophomore free safety. Don't know the reason, but he's out this year, and one of 2 guys that started, Shooter, the tight end, also didn't play last year.
Melton split out to the right side. Richards fakes the handoff up the middle. Now protection breaks down. Good pressure here by the Indians, and Richards nowhere to go as he'll be thrown down for a loss back at the 43-yard line. I believe Tangway up from the bottom of that pile. Nate Tangway right there in the face, right in the grill of Richards.
Well, Austin Krieger's the guy who made him bring it down, though. There he is right there. He had a piece of him, but then he ran him into Tangway and a couple other of his friends. Cam Groves was in there. We've got several brother combinations on this team. We got 2 Grove brothers, it looks like, and Maddens and Kriegers.
3rd and 9 here for Brookfield Central. We're late here in the 3rd quarter. They trail by 11.
This is important down. They
fake right. Now run up the middle is Richards, and he'll get across the 40 to the 39, short of the first down. Once again, it was Krieger and Davis for Mukwonago on the tackle.
I don't think that was an intended run for the quarterback. I think Richards is he's a little panicky back there. He had time on that time to find a receiver and put the ball in the air. But again, they're a running team. When that passing game will get better as the season goes on. But right now, they're having to depend on it a little bit too much.
Now they'll go empty. They'll send everybody out. Richards actually going to punt here. And it's going to be a short end-over-end kick. Mukwonago will get away. Takes a friendly bounce. Indian bounce across the 25, down near the 26-yard line. And so Mukwonago comes away with good field position here, given the circumstance there, with half a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter.
You know, I keep saying that field position thing, and I sound like an old coach, I guess, probably because I am, but it's really important in high school football how far you have to go to get a touchdown. And especially early in the season, it's very difficult for teams to put drives together because of mistakes and mishandling the ball and things like that. We'll see if Mukwonago now, they've lost a little bit more field position on that turnover there, that exchange of punts, but let's see if they can get something going here and get a couple first downs.
They'll spot it at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, Mukwonago. Hard count by Nixon. He'll keep it with some room across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. Pickup of about 7 for the quarterback, Aaron Nixon, the junior. It was Egan and Van Ark who finally brought him down.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job of reading they run the inside veer. He does a good job of reading that. And what he does, he puts the ball in the fullback's belly and he looks at the defender, and if the defender tells him to keep it, then he does. And if the defender plays the quarterback, he gives it to the fullback. So they're getting a little movement here.
That'll end the 3rd quarter here in Mukwonago. The Indians by 11 over Brookfield Central. Back with the 4th after this. Thursday Night Lights on My 24. It's the 4th quarter, 18-7, Mukwonago on top of Brookfield Central with Hall of Fame football coach Dick Basham, John Weiser in the booth. Mike McGivern on the sideline tonight. Second and short here for Mukwonago to start this fourth quarter. And nowhere going that time for Zach Timmers. He was stuffed right in the hole by Ambrookyan, the linebacker.
Yeah, and along with his own, with his fullback, he ran in the back of his fullback as well. So that was not what they had in mind. So 3rd and 4, still a manageable situation. See if they can complete a short pass here. They do work on a 3-step passing game. But Nixon has had a little trouble getting his feet set and throwing a good strong pass. So let's see if he can do that here.
Call it 3rd and 3 for the Indians. Ball just across the 31-yard line. Timmers in motion. Nixon runs the option. Now cuts back up the middle. Has some room.
That's a problem.
40, 45, 50. Nixon still on the move across the 45. Inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Billy Shim finally chased him down. A huge first down pickup for Mukwonago.
Well, that's a combination of two things. Good reading by the quarterback and turning the ball up, but also over pursuit by the defense. They way over pursued, and he was able to cut back and turn that into a long run.
You see the shoestring tackle by Shim that time for Brookfield Central, but not before a huge gain into Lancer territory down to the Brookfield Central 36-yard line. Again, Timmers in motion. Again, option by Nixon. He'll take it inside the 35, rolls down to about the 32-yard line. Austin Van Ark with the contact to bring him down.
Doing a good job of reading that again. They jumped the dive fake, and he was able to pull it out and turn it up and get about 5 yards. All an option team wants to do, especially in 4-down territory, is average 3-4 yards down, and they're in business for as long as they want to be.
Van Ark's been busy tonight. Again, as a sophomore last year, had 57 tackles and forced 2 fumbles in his playing time for the Lancers a season ago. 2nd and 6. This time they'll give it to Zach Timmers, trying to go up the middle, gets it to the 30-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play, sets up a 3rd and 3. Andre Kelly able to make the stop.
There you see a shot of Jamie Muleman's the head coach. A little concern on his face. You have a 35, that's Zach Timmers down. That was a little counter play they ran there. Faked the fullback to the right and handed back the counter back to the left.
Well, an injury timeout for Timmers. Meanwhile, we'll head downstairs. Mike McGivern with a special guest.
Hey guys, you know I always think it's pretty good when a facility is run by a good old Irish boy. Sean McNulty, the principal here at Mukwonago. Sean, how long you been out here?
Well, this is my 20th year in the district and 3rd year as Mukwonago High School principal.
Things going pretty well. Year 3, no changes coming up. I know you guys got a great new library out here.
In our community, yes, we do. We have a brand new expansion to our library, but also a brand new YMCA, so the community is really excited about that. That opens up this weekend, as a matter of fact.
You know, it's this high school growing 1,600 kids or so. This is a football community, and Coach Iverson's trying to get it revved up again. So far, so good.
A very good start tonight. We're really happy on how things have gone so far. Coach Iverson has done an outstanding job bringing back excitement to our football program. Boy, he's got a lot of positive energy, and our kids have really bought into it. We had over 300 kids this summer working in our strength and conditioning program, not just football kids, but athletes, young men and young women working, so it was great.
Sean McNulty, the principal here at Mukwonago. Boys, thanks, Sean. Boys, back to you in the booth.
All righty, thank you, Mike. McGivern and McNulty.
The Irish.
Well, Timmers being helped off. That's not a good sign for Mukwonago.
I can't tell if it's his knee or his ankle, but hopefully he'll be all right.
So he will exit.
See who they bring in that slot position, a halfback position.
Looks like they're going to bring in Matthew McCartan.
McCartan, yeah, he played well at the end of the first half.
So McCartan will replace Zach Timmers. Well, play action on the fake. Nixon running near side, able to get it inside the 30 down to about the 25-yard line. Should have enough for a first down.
Well, he did that by himself, but he had to because it was kind of a broken play. I can't tell if They were all over it. Central was all over that play. He pulled it and then reversed his field and was able to get out of trouble.
He stepped out of Dominic Sfera's tackle before Ambrukian was finally able to bring him down. Had Sfera brought him down, that would have been short of the first down. So good second effort by Nixon to pick up the first down. 1st and 10 Mukwonago. Ball at the 25 of Brookfield Central.
Another important thing for Mukwonago is that the clock is running. They don't go out of bounds. The clock isn't stopping. The counter play again.
Wozni on the carry that time. Takes it inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You'll also find our complete game schedule, archive videos of all of our games, current and past seasons. You can even post your own photos and join the Thursday Night Lights conversation on Facebook or Twitter. That's my24milwaukee.com. 2nd and 8. The 23-yard line. And this is Timmers, Dan Timmers. Nowhere to go as he gets it inside the 22, down to about the 21-yard line before he is wrapped up there. Trevin Melton again on the stop for the Lancers.
Another factor, I think, as this game winds down here is going to be conditioning both teams. Both teams are pretty much two platoon teams, but it's a warm night, and both teams have had both sides of the ball on the field quite a bit. I haven't seen any cramping or anything like that. It's been pretty good practice weather, so I would imagine both teams are in good shape.
Important 3rd down here for Mukwonago. Move to within field goal range here for Dan Timmers if they don't pick it up, and they won't, as that defense stiffens here for the Lancers. As Strickler again trying to go up the middle. He has not had any running room there. Dan Sorensen able to make the tackle, and now the field goal unit will come on for the Indians.
Well, he certainly has enough leg to make this one, according to the one he did make. So
let's go downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, Zach Timmer is out, left ankle. When I walked over there, they were so concerned about getting people around him, so I couldn't see what was going on. They started working on his right ankle, and he looked up. He said, "Boys, that one feels pretty good. It's the left ankle. Not sure if he'll be back here tonight."
Dan Timmers attempting his second field goal came up short. This one from 37 yards away. He made one earlier tonight from 35 to end the second quarter, but this one comes up short.
Yeah, he didn't hit this real strong, and might be he's been playing a lot. He might be a little tired.
1st and 10 on the 20.
So it'll be Brookfield Central ball at the 20-yard line with just over 7 minutes to go here in the ball game, down 2 scores. So is this where you kind of break out of your predictability here and try and throw the ball a little bit?
I think you need a home run here. Need a fairly quick score because you need to score at least 2 touchdowns to get back to win the game. You're not going to get it unless you get a 2-point conversion and a 3-pointer. They can tie it.
Richards will give to, I believe, Harris, and Harris stacked up one of the few times tonight the defense has been able to stop him up the middle between Tangway and Sazauskis.
Quickness beat the power on that play again. They took the gaps, and everybody was in the backfield.
Pickup of 1, 2nd down and 9, and now the clock's starting to become the enemy here too for Brookfield Central. So you see Richards will check down on his play sheet on his left arm. Wants to throw, goes left side, completes. Connor Shipman, his first catch tonight, will pick up the first down just across the first down marker near the 32-yard line. Pickup of about 9. Colin Groves with the stop.
Now that was well done. The timing on that was good. It's just a little turn-in route. Caught the ball, turned to the outside, headed down the field, out of bounds, stopped the clock.
31-yard line for a first down for Brookfield Central.
Officially a 10-yard pickup on the reception by Shipman. Sets up a 1st and 10 here for the Lancers.
Got a shoe problem. Looks like Tangway getting his shoe back on. There we go.
Now we're set. They'll put the ball in play here on this first down play for Brookfield Central. Richards pump fakes, now brings it down, throws it back out, has him there, makes the catch at the 40. He'll take it down inside the 20, down to the 10-yard line. Vantuan Melton his second long reception of the night, takes it down to the 11-yard line. A 60-yard pickup and a first down.
Well, you see here a little pump fake, right there, a shoulder fake, and then he just heaved it as far as he could. And Vantuan Melton was well behind the defender and heading to the goal line. Gets down to the about the 12-yard line, looks like.
Failing with the touchdown-saving tackle, but Vantuan Melton with 2 big receptions tonight, one for a touchdown. This one setting up a 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line.
Well, he runs well, and he's tall, long-armed receiver, so he can go up and get the ball.
Richards again wants to throw. Can't. He's going to scramble left, trying to get the edge. Nothing doing, and he'll be wrestled down hard. Sisowskis stepping up to make the smack for the Indians.
Well, there are certain players you can just tell by what happens who it was, because he is one heck of a linebacker, and he just came in there like a bolt of lightning and took him down.
In double digits tonight in tackles. 11 tonight so far for Sisowskis as we get another look.
He's only a junior. Started as a freshman. And he's the fastest man on their team. He runs a 4.6 40, and just not extremely fast, but it's not slow. He's a 230-pound player.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. They give to Harris. Harris pulls his way up the middle, inside the 10, down near the 5. He'll take it down to about the 3, short of the goal line. Again, it was Krieger, Jake Krieger, the free safety, brought him down.
Looks like we got, maybe, I don't know if that's Jordan Davis, the nose man. I don't think so. Looks like he might have a cramp.
Official timeout here for that. Gives us a chance to remind you CW18 is TV to talk about, and this fall a new hero will rise. It's a billionaire playboy with a secret identity and a dark past. Don't miss all the action and suspense on Arrow starting Wednesday, October 10th on Milwaukee's CW18. Injury timeout. We'll take a break as well. Mukwonago with the lead here late in the 4th quarter. It's an 11-point Indian lead. Back with more after this on Thursday Night Lights on My 24.
With its app.
18-7, Mukwonago on top of Brookfield Central here with just under 5.5 minutes to play, and Jordan Davis getting the cramp worked out of that leg, going to be helped off here to the near side. We talked about that being a humid night, and the 4th quarter, fluid loss and everything else, and surprised we haven't seen more of that here this evening.
They actually had him back here late in the first half and working on him. I couldn't quite tell what they were doing, but I have a feeling he might have had a cramp then. And it looks like he's got a hurt ankle, but it's definitely a cramp, and he's probably needs to get some fluids in him.
We'd like to welcome Conan Smith, our sponsors tonight. They'll be sponsoring penalty flags all season long. Conan Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cone and Smith. Well, it'll be a 1st and goal for Brookfield Central. A ball just inside the 1-yard line. As you see Joe Cook and Phil Datka talking things over on that Brookfield Central sideline. They'll give it to DeMario Harris, spinning, and he's in for the score.
Okay.
2nd and 3rd effort that time by DeMario Harris, the 5'11", 202-pound junior, gets his first touchdown of the night. So we get another look here at the spinning moves by DeMario Harris.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he was in easily. Now they're going to go for 2.
Which they need to do with that.
Right.
Get
it down to 1 score.
Yep. So we'll see the formation here. They'll set Richards up in shotgun. They'll put Harrison as the single back. Crum on a wing here to the right side. They're going to throw it out to the far side. Nope, threw it away, incomplete. Pass was away and low that time, intending for Rossmiller. So the 2-point conversion goes awry. Remains an 18-13 Mukwonago lead here as we get another look.
Right, he had the receiver there. He didn't make the connection. Just a little bit to the outside.
He was there.
Probably a catchable ball, but again, this is not a passing team. And we'll see if they can overcome it. Now they got to get a touchdown in order to. Mukwonago needs to take the ball and run some clock. Nice if they could get another score. Central has shown they can hit a home run, so it's going to be an interesting race to the finish here.
Too early for an onside kick here, Coach?
Yeah, you see there, that's John Sterner, who was the head coach at Muskego for a few years, former player of mine at Marquette High School, played back in '85. He played on a undefeated state championship team, and he's coaches the wide receivers and the special teams here. They were working really hard on their returns. Now they've run 2 returns with a wedge. We'll see if they're looking more for an onside, I think, here possibly, but I don't think they'll onside kick it. It's a little early for that.
Back deep to receive is Matthew McCartan. Along with Strickler. Kick it low, bounce it around low on the ground. It'll be covered up. Sazowskis falling immediately on that football.
Smart thing to do.
Yep. That's football presence right there. Good job by Sazowskis to cover that one up at the 35-yard line. So 5:18 to go. Mukwonago up by 5, and chance now, if they can pick up a couple of first downs, will force the Lancers into thinking about taking some timeouts here to save the clock. Head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to Clay Iverson talk to his defense. He said, look, we're going to do everything we can to run this clock out. If we can, I need 1 stop. He said, 1 time, get 1 stop, we can end this thing.
Well, a good point, Mike, and Clay Iverson thinking along those same lines. If they can get a first down here and keep it going as Nixon steps out of a tackle, gets forward yardage here out to the 39-yard line. Pickup of 4, all by Nixon, the quarterback that time. That was all on his own.
Well, he's doing a good job of reading what they're giving him. He does a nice job of turning up in there. He's not a big, strong player by any means, but he's got good feet. He's always moving towards the goal line, so that's all you can ask him to do.
2nd and 6, all just shy of the 40-yard line. And they'll pitch it. This time it's Dan Timmers trying the right side. Read well by the Brookfield Central defense to string it out for a short gain.
Yeah, Dom Safir was out there and played that really well. They strung it out, made it run it sideways. One way to defend the option, of course, is to keep it going sideways. You'll see right here. Was able to get the pitch to him, but no room to run.
Slowed him up just enough for Billy Shim to finish him off that time. 3rd and 4 for Mukwonago. 4:10 to play, and they lead by 5. Pitch it to the man in motion, coming near side. McCartan with running room, gets the first down across the 45-yard line to the 47. Mike Egan brought him down, but it was McCartan, the replacement out there at the split end, that come through for Mukwonago on that 3rd down conversion.
He's a good runner. He's 170 pounds. I think he might have been the other, they had a competition for the quarterback position here. I think McCartan might have been the other one. And not playing at quarterback, they like what he does, and they've put him at that slot position. As a quarterback, he should know what everybody does.
Big first down pickup keeps the clock moving here.
An unbalanced line to the wide side of the field.
Dan Timmers sidesteps a tackle, penalty marker down, breaks another tackle across the Lancer 45 down to the Brookfield Central 43-yard line, but hold it here. It's going to be holding the call against Mukwonago.
Yeah, Brookfield Central was in the backfield right away, and there was a holding call.
Right there.
Yeah.
Looked like he hooked the...
He grabbed the guy so he wouldn't make the play.
Again, our penalty flags brought to you tonight by Cohn and Smith, your criminal defense team. People in the know to call Cohn and Smith. Costly penalty there. Move the football back inside the 40-yard line. They'll put it down at the 37-yard line of the Indians.
That really hurts.
And that's a spot foul in high school. And it was behind the line. So
maximum penalty. Only good news is that the clock will, they'll be using the clock. It's 1st down, so they can use up a lot of clock here with 4 downs.
If you're the Lancers, you're thinking
timeout.
You're thinking takeaway here. Maybe force a turnover. Try and go after that football. Again, Nixon taking his time. He'll wait till the field judge gets under 5 seconds here before he'll snap it, and he does. Again, McCartan with the carry. McCartan picking up another big yardage out to the 45-yard line. Pickup of nearly 9 yards that time for McCartan. Boy, he has come in here the last couple of carries.
Really nice job. And Brookfield had a chance to put him down on the line of scrimmage and just whiffed a little bit on that tackle.
Shim and Sfera again in there for the Lancers. So pickup of 8, 2nd down, 13. Under 2.5 to go.
Yep.
Again, Timmers in motion to the right. Option keep this time for Nixon, the quarterback, across midfield down to the 47-yard line of the Lancers. Good read by Nixon that time.
Right.
Mike Egan, the corner, on that near side, able to bring him down.
He's reading that really well, and they're getting a block on whoever's ever responsible on Brookie in there. He looks like I think he might have been responsible for the quarterback, and they're just getting a block on that guy, and he's making those extra yards.
Lancers will take their first time out here of the second half with 2:06 to play, but hey, credit McCartan. He's coming in a situation, injury to your guy on the outside, and he's able to step in here and come up with some big run plays here. The big first down pickup on this drive.
Well, I know this game isn't over, but you have to be impressed by Mukwonago and what they have done here tonight. They've got a new coach. They've had just a couple of weeks here to get ready for this first game. A lot to learn. They changed the whole system, brought in some new assistant coaches. I know that they've worked hard. And Clay is a very intense coach and very thorough coach. All his assistants are the same way, and I think that shows here tonight. And the same is true for Brookfield Central. They're very well coached. Both teams are very well coached.
When you talk about what they have to do to get off to a good start, I mean, they're playing playoff teams from a year ago the first 4 weeks. They're at Waukesha West next week.
Right.
Home here against Muskego, the newest member of the Classic 8, and then it's on the road at Catholic Memorial.
Yeah, this is baptism by fire, I guess you could probably say, for Mukwonago. And tonight they're up to the challenge, and hopefully they'll come out of this healthy and then move on to the next week.
Well, key 3rd down here, 3rd and about 4. And they'll try and go up the middle, and he'll be stopped shy.
Forward progress is going to be close.
Forward progress, but I don't think he's going to get it. As it was a Strickler trying to go up the middle, Van Ark able to wrestle him down, and officials are going to stop play once again. Another timeout taken by Brookfield Central, their second.
I think if you're Mukwonago, you really need to punt the ball here and get him as far away from the goal line as you can, because time is on your side. I think Central maybe has one timeout left.
We try and pin him deep. You heard Mike McGivern eavesdropping on the conversation on Clay Iverson, saying we just need one stop.
Right.
And they got the big first down on this drive to take the clock down to 1:56. I think you're right, Coach. I think you punt this one away, try and pin them deep, make them go the full length with one timeout.
Yeah. And then you got to contain the passer. Watch out for the running the fullback up the middle for a long gainer, and you know they're going to heave it down the field and try to get a jump ball and see what they can do with it.
But a great game to kick off our season here tonight, season number 3 of Thursday Night Lights. Next week we'll be in Kenosha. It'll be a Southeast Conference tilt. Kenosha Bradford. New coach Jim Camerata taking over.
He was the defensive coordinator there last year when they won their state championship. Has been there a long time. Very experienced coach, and Chip Kennedy left him a pretty good team. I know that, so I'm sure he'll do a good job with them.
Dan Timmers to kick this one away for the Indians. It's a good snap. We'll kick this one. Gets a nice kick. It'll bounce inside the 10. It'll just make it across the goal line for the touchback. Let's see. Did it go out of bounds?
No, it went out of bounds.
Let's see. The officials are going to talk about it. And did it? It went out at the 1 yard line. Wow.
No, they just changed it. They said it went in the end zone. Wow. I'd like to see that. Neither one of them was in a real good position because of the roll on it to see what happened. We don't have instant replay. Let's see what. Whatever it is, you can't change it anyway.
Tough to tell.
I think it went right over the pylon. So you get that's 5 of one, half dozen, or 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So a good call by the officials, and
well, Well, it's pretty simple here.
80 yards.
Yep, with one timeout. Again, the clock will stop on made first downs as Richards wants to throw, now runs out of the pocket.
Oh, that's good.
He'll scramble left side. He'll stay in bounds.
That's really good for Mukwonago.
Yeah, that's a huge break for the Indians there. As,
you want to at least throw it away and stop the clock.
Colin Groves was on the stop, along with Cameron Groves. Groves brothers working hard on that defensive play. Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5, but clock rolling here down to 1:20. Shars again will keep it. Again will stay inbound, short of the first down.
You know, he's looking at his receiver.
Oh, and a penalty marker thrown. That will stop the clock here.
He's not confident in throwing the ball to receivers that are in the vicinity of a defender. Tangway is. I think his reaction was that it's going to be on Mukwonago.
A dead ball foul, personal foul, big one here. That'll pick up the first down. See if we can pick it up on the replay here. What happened?
Yeah.
Shars on the scramble here. Didn't see anything there, did we?
Give him the business afterwards. He was down. I don't know.
Maybe a little taunting call there.
Oh, that could have been. Yeah, well, that's not good.
Now moves the football out to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 Lancers looking to throw. Richards has a man open, makes the catch on the far sideline and out of bounds in Mukwonago territory, just short of the 35-yard line. I believe that was Drew Peterson who made the catch out there. The junior, 6'1", Wozni on the stop.
Well, all of a sudden they're in business here.
Nice grab there.
That was a well-thrown ball, and he went up high to get it and got out of bounds to stop the clock.
62 seconds to play. Lancers need a touchdown to take the lead. Demario Harris up the middle, but it kills time here, and clock continues to roll. Sazowskis in on the stop, and Brookfield Central will take, I believe, their final timeout.
Okay. Now they might have a series of plays that they have worked on that they know that the end of the game situation.
Well, that stops the clock with 50 seconds to play. Lancers out of timeouts. I believe Mukwonago has 2 remaining here in the half. Jamie Muehlmans, the head football coach, pondering the situation here. Clay Iverson on the other sideline, encouraging his defense. They have to be impressed after that first quarter. Things weren't going Mukwonago's way, but that 18-point second quarter capped off by that 35-yard field goal to end the half. And
it's been a really good football game.
Yes,
I think both teams have learned a lot about themselves tonight, which is why they play this first game against tough competition.
As we said before, you talk about your scheduling. I mean, you've got
Brook Central has the toughest part of their schedule is the early part of their schedule as well.
Yes, they do. But for Mukwonago and a new coaching staff, you're talking Waukesha West next week, home against Muskego, playoff team, perennial playoff team, as Demario Harris with big running room inside the 25 before he stood up and driven back. They'll have the first down. You're right. Clock will stop on the first down as they move the markers. Another first bank first down for Brookfield Central on by Harris. Nice power run that time.
Well, now they're almost, I think they're probably in field goal territory right now. They have a kicker good enough to make it from where they are now.
Nick Blum credited with the tackle.
That won't do it any good.
Richard's going to throw it out, looking for his receiver here on the near side, incomplete. Intended for Vantuan Melton, who had a touchdown reception tonight, to go with a 60-yard pickup earlier.
I thought Central was down by 3, but they're not, obviously.
No, they're
down by 5. They have to have a touchdown.
Yep. And that's who I was thinking. They're in a position now where they can look for Melton, let him take advantage of his 6'2" height.
Yeah.
Go for the pylon here. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 24-yard line of Mukwonago. Shars throwing left. Completes the pass short of the first down. He's in bounds.
Incomplete.
They waved it off incomplete. Yeah, he did.
I couldn't see which defensive back was over there, but he really timed the hit very well.
Let's get another look. We'll pick it up right here. Had the receiver open. Was looking for Shipman, and
number 20, Colin Groves, he timed that perfectly.
Well, sets up 3rd and 10 here for the Lancers. Mario Harris, the lone man in the backfield. They'll send 4 receivers out. Richards with time. Steps up, delivers far side, completes the pass to Shipman out of bounds, picks up the first down near the 10-yard line.
Good job there. You know, he hasn't even been looking out here to the right to Melton. Maybe he's working the sideline over there trying to stop the clock as well.
Great job of walking the tightrope that time by Connor Shipman, the senior.
Yep. A lot of room out here for number 9, Vantuan Melton, and see if they can throw that fade route to him.
From the 11-yard line, 1st and 10, Lancers. Richards going to go over the middle. It is broken up, incomplete, nearly intercepted.
Right. It's a good strong throw, though. I have to give him credit. That was right down the middle of the seam, and
he locked on to Crum right away.
It really well.
Yeah, he was locked on to Crum. That allowed the defense to close
Cameron
in and
Groves
triple
right
team.
There, yeah, almost a face guarding.
2nd and 10. Again, they can get a first down short of the goal line.
Yeah, they've got enough time to do it.
Shars with time. Delivers to the sideline, thrown behind Shipman, incomplete and broken up. It was Wozni out there again that broke that pass up, but again, a little bit behind the intended receiver.
Exactly right. He threw a little bit behind him. See him, he turned to the outside and he had to come back inside, and then the defender was able to get his hands in there as well. Tyler Wozni right in position to make the play.
Sets up a 3rd and 10 from the 11-yard line. Again, Brookfield Central out of timeouts. They need a touchdown to take the lead. Field goal will not do them any good. Richards takes his time. Delivers the football. Fade route. Van Melton is there. Touchdown, Lancers. Vantuan Melton, his 2nd touchdown reception of the game.
Ty Bailing was there, and he got tangled up in his own feet and fell down in the end zone. And the ball was thrown perfectly. And there it is right there.
The 6'2 senior with his 2nd touchdown reception of the game. As we get another look, Richards connecting with the big man.
There you see him on the ground. He tried to reverse positions, and he tangled his feet.
And that left Vantuan Melton all alone in the corner for the touchdown. They'll go for 2 here. Richards looks to throw, looking for Shipman again, but this time a flag down. This will be an interference call on Mukwonago.
Another chance at it.
Half the distance. The Cohn & Smith penalty flag, our sponsors of the penalty flags once again this season. Looks like going to be a holding call here against Mukwonago. Half the distance. They'll repeat the try. What a ball game tonight.
Well, it shows you got to play the entire 48 minutes, that's for sure.
Once again, they will try for 2 here. Shars will give it to Crum. Tries the sweep over the left side, will not get in. Denied on the 2-point conversion, leaves a 1-point lead here for the Lancers.
I think that was Tyler Wozni out there, knocked him out of bounds.
They worked the right split end that time, Crum, and you're right. So, 14 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's
2 timeouts.
Well, you got to hope for a good kickoff return and maybe take a couple shots at the end zone.
And they've had some good kickoff returns tonight.
I don't think they're going to kick it so that they can do that, though. They're going to kick it away, kick it on the ground probably, make them handle it.
Now the trick here, if you're going to do that, make sure you keep it in play, because if you kick it out of bounds,
then they get it to 35. Yeah, Just want to kick a squibber down the field, make somebody pick it up, but then the clock runs.
Look for one of my chip shot, my little pitching wedge, little gap wedge shot here, maybe a little pop up. Brookfield Central battled all the way back, moved it 80 yards on that drive, capped off by the Vantuan Melton touchdown reception, the second of the game. They'll squib it down on the ground.
Clock is running.
Yeah, it was touched, so it'll be picked up here across the 25, 30, 35, 40, down the near sideline with the football. It's Bailing. He'll run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line down to the 26.
5 seconds.
Ty Bailing sets it up, and again, down by 1 with 5 seconds left. Let's get another look here.
He picks it up and heads to the outside, missed the tackle there, got a couple blocks, almost cut back and made it here.
Nice block out.
Right, yeah.
Take the kicker out of the play that time, and well, now you got an interesting decision here. You're going to go right for the field goal. Timmers is out there with the kicking tee.
Yeah.
Again, the breeze has died down here, so the wind will not be a factor here, but this is going to be
49 yards.
Yep.
I think the first one he made earlier in the game was probably long enough to go through. The second one that he kicked, was short. I think he has the leg to do it. It's just a matter of whether he can.
A 44-yard kick to win the game. Good snap, spot, kick on the way. Is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? It comes up short. And time has expired. Brookfield Central comes from behind and knocks off Mukwonago 19-18. What an exciting finish to this one as the Lancers march at 80 yards in the final minute. Vantuan Melton, 2 touchdown receptions tonight, his second of the game winner, as Brookfield Central escapes here tonight with a 19-18 victory over Mukwonago. Well, it's interesting. We heard Mike McGivern report earlier, Clay Iverson telling his team we just needed that one stop, and unfortunately tonight they just couldn't come up with it in the final seconds here of the season.
Also, the inability in the second half to really move the ball and to score any points. 18 wasn't enough to win it. They needed more than that, and you got to give Central. They struggled. They won the first and third or fourth quarters. In between, they were pretty non-existent offensively, and then they came alive when they needed to at the end. Had the long passes to Vantuan Melton, and that was probably the difference in the game. With actually 3 long passes. Now he caught the last touchdown.
Vantuan Melton's touchdown reception with 14 seconds left. The game winner tonight. Brookfield Central 19, Mukwonago 18. Back with more after this. Thursday Night Lights on My 24. An exciting finish tonight with 14 seconds left. The Lancers score, and they defeat Mukwonago here in Mukwonago tonight by a final of 19-18. Vantuan Melton, 2 touchdown receptions tonight. His second, the game winner with 14 seconds left as the Lancers prevail here tonight. And we head downstairs for the trophy presentation and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, Coach Mullen says don't call me for these games anymore. I got to tell you, Coach, your team showed a tremendous amount of courage. No quit, and came up with certainly one of the most exciting games we've had on Thursday Night Lights. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm so proud of these guys. You're right. They didn't quit. They have heart, and that's the way to start it out, boys, against a great team. Outstanding.
I asked him how his heart was, and he didn't want to talk too much about it. He talked some about the baseball diamond. And, Coach, I got to tell you, this team can take this, what they did in the fourth quarter, this can last the team a long time. That, you know what, never quit. You get a win like that in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden you start thinking, you know what, there's nothing we can't accomplish.
That's correct. These boys know what the Greater Metro's like. They showed heart tonight. They showed team tonight. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to congratulate Mukwonago Coach Clay Iverson and his group. Great first game for him at a new school.
Great job. They're excellent for just coming in, putting a new offense, defense in. It's tremendous.
Boys, Lancer football alive and well. Get it going, fellas.
Somewhere in there, Mike McGivern. Let's hope he makes it home tonight. But a jubilant Lancer team here tonight as they knock off Mukwonago in fine fashion here as we get a look at some of the final numbers.
Well, yeah, Mukwonago certainly outdid him on the running game, but that 152-15 is the story of the game in the end. 2 long passes late in the game to get in position to score and then to actually score the final one. Turnovers, as it turned out, they survived it. Both teams certainly have things to work on for the next game, but they both played very well. It's unfortunate that one team had to lose and one team certainly always has to win. So good luck to both teams, and we'll hopefully you see them down the road in the playoffs.
19-18, Lancers over the Indians tonight here in Mukwonago. We'll step out, take our final break. Oh, hold it. Before we step away, let's go down to Mike McGivern.
Hey, boys, I asked this team, guys, who was the player of the game? You know what? The whole team right here. Man, you know what? On that second touchdown, made a move. The kid slipped a bit. Did it seem like it was 5 minutes before that ball came down?
It took forever.
Man, hey, and the quarterback made a nice throw. It had nothing to do with it. It wasn't like a wounded duck. But I got to tell you, I watched you, and you watched that thing all the way in the hands, and I thought, son, don't drop that thing.
It was scary. I got it, though.
Yeah, no doubt. Congratulations. Nice job. Way to start this thing. Boys, he's the player of the game.
Unanimous vote. We'll have to decide that here when we come back from our commercial break. 19-18 your final. Back with a final word from Mukwonago right after this. (19-18). Lancers over the Indians tonight here in Mukwonago. Vantuan Melton, 2 touchdown receptions. His second coming with 14 seconds left, an 11-yard pass from Richards, the game winner, as the Lancers come from behind on the road to defeat a very game Mukwonago team looking for their first winning season in 6 years, and made a very good accounting of themselves in their debut with Clay Iverson as head coach.
Yeah, they did. It's a tough loss, that's for sure, when you come so close and your lead up to the last 30 seconds or so. They'll bounce back. Kids are resilient. Coaches know that can happen, and they'll regroup, and I'm sure have a good season.
So we get ready for a highlight reel here, and as we get a look at Aaron Nixon tonight, we'll name him our player of the game as that pitch to Timmers there for the touchdown for Mukwonago in that second quarter.
Yeah.
But Aaron Nixon made a fine accounting of himself running that option tonight. A little difficulty going to his left on the pitch, but for the most part, as you said, was a game manager tonight, running that quarterback slot, going 3 of 7 for 15 yards. More importantly, 13 carries for 123 yards and the touchdown.
Yeah, he was pretty much their offense in the second half. They did get a few other gains here and there, but he was the most consistent of them. That was probably the Achilles heel for Mukwonago in the second half, is their inability to move the ball down close enough to get points. And the 18 that they had at the half weren't enough to carry them to the end.
And then Mario Harris with the power run. That's one of 3 turnovers tonight that Brookfield Central had to overcome here this evening. But it was Vantuan Melton late in this ball game, and also credit Connor Shipman there, and that set up the first down at the 11-yard line for Brookfield Central. But Vantuan Melton tonight with 2 touchdown receptions. This one here, the first, that's the interception, excuse me. But he had one earlier in the first quarter, early second quarter, excuse me, that provided the first margin. But right here, the game winner with 14 seconds left as the defender slipped and fell. Vantuan Melton, our player of the game from Brookfield Central. Well, we can only hope next week's game is going to be just as exciting. We're in the Southeast Conference next week, back to my home backyard, Kenosha, as the Bradford Red Devils will take on the Franklin Sabres at Jaskowitz Stadium at Indian Trails High School. That'll be our next matchup here on Thursday Night Lights.
Should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. It's a new season, a new coach there at Bradford. He inherited a pretty good team, coming off a state championship, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, when we have a moment, we want to thank our fine director, our technical director, Kaz, is leaving our crew here after tonight's ball game, moving on to greater things, working for ESPN coming up. So congratulations to Kaz on the big promotion. We're going to miss you, big guy. Not necessarily the White Sox hat, but we're still going to miss you nonetheless. But thanks to Paul Rudolph, our director here on site, and for Mike McGivern, Dick Basham, John Weiser, and our entire crew here in Mukwonago tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Join us again next week for exciting high school football from Kenosha. It'll be Bradford against Franklin. Here tonight it was the Brookfield Central Lancers coming from behind Vantuan Melton's 11-yard touchdown reception with 14 seconds left, the game-winning margin as Brookfield Central defeats Mukwonago 19-18. Good night from Mukwonago.